What is up, everybody, and welcome to the VR Link. My name's GT. How are you all? Oh man, thank you. This is our weekly VR show that gives you and us a chance to sit back and discuss what's been happening in virtual reality. Allow me to introduce Salsa from Salsa Ketchup VR,
Hi, everybody.
Nat from 7 Degrees of Gaming,
Hello, guys and
and
girls.
and Lincoln Clay from Lincoln Clay 670.
What's up, everybody?
So before we get started, I'd like to thank the amazing patrons of the channel and members. And if you're looking at ways to support this channel, please check the links below. And while you're there, pop into the community Discord, as we have lots of positive VR enthusiasts with various channels to discuss tech, movies, music, and you can leave us questions or start conversations for next week's show on the VR Link. So let's quickly go over what everyone's been playing this week and let us know in the chat what you've been playing too, because that is an essential part of the show. And we will start with Lincoln. Let's go with Lincoln this week. What have you been playing? How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I have been playing Bullet Roulette. It is a very fun game, simple game, a little bit twisted in its philosophy, but it is fun. It is single player. You play with bots, and it's multiplayer. So I was hoping that maybe us on the VR Link can get together on one of these days.
Yes.
Really cheap game. It was on sale for $4.50.
I've got it, and I've got 2 keys for it as well. And I have played it with one of the other guys who got another channel. Ninjo, I think his name was. We got together in the week because randomly I was like, "Can anyone play this?" I think Lincoln, you was at work or something. Salsa didn't reply, I don't think, at the time, so I just jumped in.
Working stuff, I think.
Yeah, and yeah, it's actually a really good game. I actually think it's really good fun and a good laugh. So yeah, we'll definitely be checking that out, man. You been doing anything else this week?
No, that's it. It's working.
Yeah, I feel that. What about you, Nat? What have you been up to this week?
Not a lot of VR because obviously I've still got a busted rib. It's still painful, unfortunately. When it gets to a sore, I don't mind sore. I just don't like painful. So when it gets to sore, I'll start playing some VR again. However, I did buy a new VR game.
Okay.
Which was Skyworld Kingdom Brawl on the Oculus Quest, because it's now come back up on the Oculus Quest store.
Nice.
For a really good price of $7.99, which I was a little bit surprised about. So it was like, yeah, I'm gonna go with that because I like the look of the game. So I want to give that a bit of a try. So that looks cool. I know you've played it at Gamescom, wasn't it?
Yeah, I played it at Gamescom, and I think, as we said last week, the very reason they pulled it off the store was the same thing that happened to me at Gamescom, where it always defaulted to a draw, regardless of how much I was kicking the guy's ass. It was just a draw. But yeah, I mean, that's an incredible price, isn't it? Especially from like Vertigo Games, you know it's going to be a quality game as well. So yeah, that's cool. It's cool.
I've also played. I was playing a little bit more Catherine because I like that game. I suck at it, but I really enjoy it. I tried out the Call of Duty Modern Warfare open beta.
Yes.
And was pleasantly surprised. The only drawback is that that Activision are going to F it up. Sorry, I know you've got children watching your channels. I won't use that.
What are you thinking? In what way do you mean, like microtransactions and trying to milk?
They will be intrusive microtransactions.
Yeah.
Microtransactions are here to stay. We're not going to get rid of them, but
right.
The way that Activision put them in games is disgusting. Also, it's very annoying that they release the game without these horrible microtransactions. There's just basic stuff in, and then a few months later, they put all the horrible stuff in that the fans and players just don't want.
Yeah.
And it upsets them. So,
but that aside, what's the actual like? It sounds like you're actually enjoying the game.
The thing is, there was 2 games because I was never a multiplayer player at all. There was 2 games when I started getting into PS3 that really or 3 games actually that caught my bug for multiplayer. One was Resistance. The second one was Motorstorm. And then the third one was Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare.
Resistance. What was was that a big player base? Did that have like a load of? What was the number of players on that game?
64.
64.
No, the first one was only 16. When it went to Resistance 2, it put 64 players.
That's it, man. That was brilliant. That was so good.
It was a great game.
Yeah.
And obviously the last thing I've been playing this week is Borderlands 3. It's really, really good, but it's not great. unfortunately.
Okay. Yeah.
There's technical issues, but there's some actual gameplay design choices that they've made that I think they've screwed up on, which is a shame. But there was a really cool moment during playing Borderlands 3 where you do a VR mission, and in the mission it actually references Borderlands 2 VR.
Oh, nice.
Within the game, it's like a meta comment of the game. And when it was mentioned, it was like, "What are you going to do? Put out a 7-year-old game in VR? Is that what you expect us to do?" and stuff like that. And I was just laughing my ass off. I thought,
Yeah. Nice.
So
Hoping they bring a VR patch into Borderlands 3. That would just, that'd make my day as well.
you never know. I mean, I think that's obviously what like. I mean, the big thing for me is, and I've said this numerous times, I think they screwed up with Borderlands 2 VR by not putting the 4-player multiplayer in co-op big time.
Yeah.
Because
Even if it was just 2 players, anything like that is every game's better multiplayer, isn't it?
Well, actually, the thing that kind of gets me is, and this is the bit that I have the biggest bugbear with Borderlands 3, is the bosses in Borderlands 2 are so well designed that you can fight them if you're a single player, or you can fight them if you're a 4-man team, and anything in between. Works out brilliantly no matter what you do. There's a challenge in there. Borderlands 3, there's, and obviously I haven't finished the game, but there's been 3 bosses where literally you can tell that the boss has been designed for 4 players, or 3 players at the very least.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been, like, it's not 1 player. And I've literally had to go off and go like 2 levels above the boss to make sure that I can get past it, which I've never really had to do with it. So
yeah, cool.
It's kind of a bit of a frustration. But like I say, I still enjoy it. It's Borderlands. I enjoy Borderlands.
Yeah.
But it's not a great game. It's just a very, very good game.
Cool. What about you, Sal? So what have you been up to this week?
What I've been up to? A couple of things. I took a look at Battle Wake, much as yourself, and realised yesterday when I was looking back over things that it was also on Viveport Infinite, which of course I've got a subscription to. So it means that I didn't need to go and pay out. I could have just got it on my Viveport Infinite account.
Oh.
So no.
Yeah. Did you have time to get? Did you get it off Steam? And what's the money back process or refund? Sorry.
I think it's basically if you play under a certain amount of time on Steam, they'll go, yeah. But I think I've already played over that amount, so.
Right.
Yeah, it's 2 hours.
Yeah. But basically, yeah. Battle Wake, I was looking on Viveport Infinite for some other games just to do. So I tried out Racket NX as well, though my arms ended up sore from that. So that was the PC version. I know you guys played like the Quest version. I was kind of wondering what it was like on the PC, and when I saw it there, I was like, okay, we'll get into that one. Really interesting thing is, with the tethered version, you know where you stand in the middle of that big, domey thing or whatever, circle. On the circle on the ground, they actually have an indicator to tell you how wrapped up your wire is getting.
Really?
Yeah, so it tracks how many times you've turned around, so that you can turn back the other way to keep your wire from getting too knotted and stuff like that.
That's crazy.
That's cool.
Yeah, I could. Well, my setup, man, I couldn't do if I was green screening it. I couldn't do one rotation because my cord is like near its limit anyway. So, damn.
Yeah, I have extensions on mine.
Oh,
so
I've heard.
I have the extensions.
Sweet.
The other one I did was a little fan project which someone sent through to me called Interstellar VR, which is basically Daft Punk's One More Time music video
Sweet.
in VR.
That sounds cool. I love stuff like that.
You know the stage part from the it's like an old anime 70s style
Yes.
sort of anime
Yeah.
where they're on stage and you've got a concert happening. You get to be in the audience of the concert.
Ah, cool.
At this point, they give you some other different things that you can throw some different effects in the air, and then at another point they give it so that you can make your you can fly a bit more closer and take a look at different things up close and stuff. So that was pretty cool. The other one I played was watched again, which is me revisiting something, was The Great Sea.
Okay. I don't know what that is. I don't think.
It's a post-apocalyptic narrative story, basically. It's a cinematic thing. It's not a game. It's about an hour long. And I just have to say, if you've got something like Viveport or not, and you want to take a look at just relaxing, chilling out, watching a good story that's actually done well in VR, The Great Sea is a good way to do that.
Yeah.
It really does show how a VR animation can bring story into to life in VR, and how that kind of works. It's a really, really good and well done. So I do recommend people take a look at that if you're, if you just want to watch something, chill out and watch something for an hour.
Yeah.
It's a nice.
Oh, nice. So this week it's been a bit weird actually. This week, first of all, I checked out Aircar because it had the update.
I did the Aircar as well.
That was really cool. I really, really enjoyed that. That was good. Then we done the Battle Wake live stream. Did a bit of multiplayer on that, and the multiplayer is really good because you can either do the campaign with someone, or you can do 4-player co-op, so PvE, or you can do 10-player PvP, which I think is fantastic. Like 10 players. I don't think it's cross-platform though, because someone in the chat asked. Yeah, someone asked Servios and they said no, but it's obviously something they'd love to think about.
You can play, obviously, because it's available through, as I discovered, Viveport Infinite. So if you've got Viveport Infinite, check it out there, because obviously it's just whatever game you like. Steam VR and Oculus. And you can obviously play between Steam VR and Oculus, except for it being harder to team up because of the friends list stuff.
Yeah.
Can't, as you say, play between PSVR and PC VR, which is the same.
Yeah, then we checked out Doom 3 in VR thanks to a mod, and that was absolutely amazing. I loved that, dude. Like, as I said before, if I wasn't doing this channel and stuff, man, I would have probably played that to completion because I absolutely loved that game. Then we checked out Spire 1, done like half of mission 1 and then 2 training levels, and then done the Forest VR. I think it was Saturday night or Friday night. So was it Friday night or Saturday night? I'm not sure. It might have been Friday night. Once again, scared the crap out of me. Absolutely amazing. But I've got a lot of feedback from people saying the recent update has ruined it for them. So by the sounds of it, there is a hardcore audience for this game, and people literally play it all the time. And the recent VR update they're not happy with. And I don't know whether it's not just VR specific that has ruined it. For example, the guy just doesn't run very far anymore. He gets tired out quicker. There's a lot more enemies suddenly coming at you. So I think they preferred the idea where you was always a bit worried if there was an enemy there. You could hear it, but you never necessarily come out. Sometimes you're scared of what you don't see. And they seem to think that this recent update has taken that away. And to be fair, when I played it the other day, I was bombarded so many times. Lots of fighting in that game that I come across as probably normally when I play it, not so much. That was something that was meant to happen last night. Instead, I chucked up half plus half gameplay just because I've been doing nights all week. Then I went to do an early 12-hour Saturday, and it threw me right out. Like, I was, by the time I got to the evening, I was tired when I should have been. Like, I don't know, do you know what I mean? I was just all over the place. Even my appetite was a bit screwed up.
What's your thoughts on that?
A half plus half. It's not really something I would invest in if I didn't play with other people. I don't think there's nothing there if you're playing your own. But it is an open. You can either play it with friends privately, or you can have it where you go to a room and it searches for other people playing it. and it was brilliant. Like, it was really, really good. And once again, I was thinking, dude, this is like what virtual reality does for me. It gives me certain experiences that you just hide and seek. Like, it's such a simple game, but when someone turns into an absolute Godzilla-sized person with a really deep voice, and you shrink at someone with a really high-pitched voice, and you're just flying around, it was constantly funny. Like, constantly funny. And swimming around in, like, the endless ocean. To be fair, I think, like, I played it with Nathan and Mike. Like, Nathan was like, "Is this all we're doing?" But he said that after a good 5 minutes, because we were just like, "This is great," just floating around, and you could see people just getting together and floating around. There was like a Rocket League style game in there with kites as well. This is not just on the Quest either. I think it's on the Rift as well, but I don't know if the game is cross-platform. I'm not sure. If it is, that'd be great. But yeah, that's cool. It was really good. So yeah, another massively packed week of VR as normal. Let's just check out the chat. Who have we got in here today? Hello DJ, Scooby Dave, Fez, Stephen, Mick, TGK, Robin Schuler, thank you ever so much. Kev Gret, Gaming Legends, Lord Snipes. This sounds pretty cool. We do get some good names on here. The Scottish Gamer, how you doing, my friend? Who else we got? Mick Cornerstone, thank you for joining. A Hobbit, you're always welcome, dude. Thank you ever so much for your donations to Missy GT's North Run. She was aiming for £500. I think she ended up raising over 600. So thank you to you for doing that. That was a donation for bowel cancer. So cheers, man. Thank you very much. VR gaming, how's it going? Secrets of Ham. David Geezer talking about Ham. I just want to talk about Ham sometimes. And Mrs. GT. Excellent. So, what have we got lined up for you today? What we're going to do, we're going to try and get some gaming discussion out of the way. We've done Battle Wake, so that's cool. I think we've sort of discussed Battle Wake. Did we discuss Battle Wake last week?
No, because it came out this week.
Did we not? I thought we talked about it last week. All right.
Because it only released on Tuesday.
Oh, okay. No worries, man. Yeah, so...
Man, a long week.
And I think it'd be on everyone's thing as well if it had come out on the Quest, but they've held that back for a little while, haven't they?
Yeah,
they have.
And that's what you're waiting for, Nat, isn't it? I think
yes.
The Quest release. Yeah.
Because again, like I say, I like the look of the game, but I've said that to other Servios games. So, I like the look of Sprint Vector. That looks like that could be fun. I like the look of raw data. Creed put me off because I had loads of people say, "Oh, you got to try Creed. It's a really boxing game. It will really knack you." And it's like, man, I'm almost 50. I'm really out of shape. So I do, what do you want to do? Me have a heart attack? You're sadist, a lot of you. But
yeah.
So it's kind of what I've said. Servios does make really good games. They just haven't really made games that I want to play or that I've enjoyed playing. So because PlayStation do not have, let's be honest, they do not have a refund policy. You might as well say, because to try and get a refund, you have to jump through so many hoops and you're not guaranteed it. I know at least with the Oculus Quest, or a bit like what Salsa was saying with his Steam thing, I know if I play it less than 2 hours, and I think it's within 10 days or 14 days, I can get a refund if I find that it's not for me. So I do want to try it. I do like the look of it. I'm a huge pirate fan. I mean, I went to see Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl 5 times at the cinema. I didn't go and see any of the other films 5 times at the cinema, but I definitely went and saw that one 5 times because it was awesome. So yeah, I like the look of it, and I will try it on the Quest. If I really like it, I will keep it. And if it's another Servios game that, hey, it's really good, but it's just not for me, I will get a refund.
So just to put your brain a little bit on that, what I've seen of the PSVR version, it looks actually completely spot on, like really spot on. Are you just holding back because you prefer the controllers, or you prefer the wireless thing? I mean, what's
I don't know. I don't know enough about the game, how it controls, and how much I'm going to enjoy it. Because obviously, even though there is a campaign component there, the thing that's going to be taking the most time is obviously a multiplayer component.
Mm-hmm.
And that's always going to be a bit of a hard time for me to find. If the game is fun enough, then like I say, I'll keep it, even if I only jump into it a few times a year.
Yeah.
But like I say, because I'm unsure, because if they'd have done a beta and it had come to PlayStation VR and I'd have got hands on with it and I was like, actually, I'd like it, then I'd have taken the chance. The thing is now, and obviously you're in this situation because you've got a PC VR gaming rig, you've got the Oculus Quest that you got after your PlayStation VR setup. We didn't have that with PlayStation VR. Like when Firewall Zero Hour come out, you just took a chance. It's just like, well, I really like this game. I think it's going to be really good, and it is actually a really good game, but it might not have been. And then we'd have just been like, well, we've got this game and I ain't playing it. No one else is playing it.
I'm pretty sure PlayStation's refund policy is quite strict. Of like, you can get a refund if you haven't played it. I'm pretty sure it's something like that because.
Yeah, but you literally you actually can't download it.
Yeah, whatever, it's ridiculous. Whatever it is, like
it's absolutely insane. So hopefully, maybe that's the next thing if they want to keep people in their good graces. Sort of like saying Sony is for the players, as they keep telling us. Well, this is for the players. It's like, well, great, give us a decent refund policy for a crappy game. But that's the only reason I like to say Battle Wake. And also looking at the game again, the controls, and we've discussed this before. Certain games on the Oculus Quest just play so much better than they do on PlayStation VR. Superhot plays so much better than it does on PlayStation VR. Yeah. So and there's other games as well. So like I say, I'm looking forward to it. If I make a mistake, I've got the backup of, thank you very much, but this game isn't for me. Can I please have a refund?
Yeah, see, the other thing I was thinking when it comes to, because I believe Battle Wake's life expectancy is reliant on the multiplayer aspects of the game. You've also got friends lists and stuff to consider. Where's your biggest community? So I mean, I personally know that. I mean, I'm quite lucky. I think I can do it on PC and PSVR. I'm going to have, luckily, enough people that I could stretch out to on both. But if I was getting one or the other, I probably would have leant towards PSVR because that's where I know there is a solid base. Like, do you know what I mean, of multiplayer players. So, anyone want to add anything to that quickly on Battle Wake?
Well, I think Battle Wake, the single player campaign, because I only really got through that and I haven't done enough of the multiplayer. And I do find that I wanted more from the single player campaign in terms of difficulty and things like that. And also, I think the multiplayer co-op seemed like it may be a little bit too easy or a little too unvaried somewhere. So I think it needs some tweaking. I think what is going to get more interesting could be the PvP, but I didn't see enough numbers, so I need to jump in more on that to really get a good judgment on it. But it's pretty good mechanics. It's pretty frantic. The graphics are gorgeous.
Yeah.
There's hell of different little upgrade options, getting to terms with them. But I don't think until you step into that multiplayer is the game going to really get the true shine that it should. So limited arcade thrills on the single player, possibly better on the multiplayer.
Yeah. As I said before, I do think that game is going to be reliant on multiplayer because it seems like the offline mode is more of just a case of trying to get 3 medals and trying to earn some sort of unlockables for your ship, which you can also do offline. But at the same time, you can do the whole campaign with someone. So you know what I mean? So that's quite cool. I like all that side of it, and I think they've done quite a good job with that one. Who else we got in the chat since that I've sort of might have missed? Who else did we get? We got Shat79. How you doing, dude?
Chat from Robin.
Cornerstone said he played Drop Dead this week on the Quest, which is like House of the Dead, but in VR, and I absolutely agree. It's a very good game. I really enjoyed that. I think I played that in the woods randomly just for clickbait, as you do. And then what else did we? Who else we got? Hello, Buck, Jimstar, how you going? Blake, nice. J Cole. Who else we got? Have I missed anyone? Excellent stuff. So let's jump into talking about this game, which I need to turn down the thing because I completely had it turned up. Then, I didn't put the.
Oh yeah, the very short clip on this.
Oh, it's crazy short. It's less than a minute, I think.
Yeah, no, it's over in seconds. It's like 15 seconds or something stupid like that. 15, 20 seconds.
Oh, is it? Yeah, so when I saw this, I actually thought about Deathlab, by the way. I thought about Road Rash when I saw this. I was thinking, like, this game actually looks really good. I'm not sure why the trailer's so short, to be honest, because it doesn't...
Of the whole death race bit and what's that other one where you... Well, depending on if you was in America or if you was over here, it's still running over zombies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's what that gave me sort of like things from. It does look interesting.
Yeah, I'm really interested in this one actually.
Well, the developer
it looks like. Oh,
No,
go ahead.
again.
I was going to say this game looks like Hot Wheels beats Burnout.
Well,
Hot Wheels beats Burnout. Yeah, I guess so, but I still think it's got that, the death race type of vibe going on there. That whole get in the car, expect there to be zombies on the track type of thing, shooting out other cars because you can see the guy, but it's so quick that it's like, blink and you've missed it.
Yeah. What was you going to say, Nat?
I was going to say the developer Osby Games. First of all, they've got a track record in quality VR games with Ansha. Obviously, that's predominantly on PC, but they're highly touted games. But the developers actually come out and said that one of their things that they kind of looked back on is actually Twisted Metal.
Nice.
But they were wondering, well, what would Twisted Metal in VR kind of look at? It's kind of what we've said so many times. There's amazing franchises and IPs that Sony have that they could convert to VR, and Twisted Metal would be another one.
Yeah.
Just a car combat game. So I gotta admit, I saw this. I think it was Wednesday or Thursday that Oculus posted it up, and it was like, yeah, that most probably be fun. And obviously, one of the things that some people get really done with driving games, I did with Drive Club, although I haven't tried any other ones, is motion sickness. They can feel sick. I think actually the combat part of this will actually take a lot of that away, because your brain will be concentrating more on the combat side, or sort of a portion of your brain will be concentrating on the combat side, that the motion sickness side will be like a secondary thing. So I'm really looking forward to it. Definitely going to pick this up and play it and suck. And obviously, again, one of the cool things by it coming from Oculus is it's cross-play, cross-platform.
See, the other thing to me, right, when I watch this trailer in detail, I think this has got a wacky races thing going on, because if you look at the end, one of them's got like spider pincers at the front, one's got a drill, one looks like Speed Racer, one looks like Death Race or whatever it is. Like, I think there might be a bit of depth to this that the trailer's not giving you. Do you know what I mean? It looks like an action arcade racer at the moment. On the dash there, it looks like there's nitro boosts and stuff going on, plus weapons that you can use, not just like press a button and it goes one way. I'm sort of thinking to myself, like, there could be actually quite a lot going on here, but we don't know. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's just such a short clip. It's like, okay, there's explosions, there's speed, there's jumps. Oh. But if it was in a cartoon style, then I'd go, yeah. But it's not. It's got more of the realistic style to it.
Yeah.
So it does have more the Mad Max styley thing to it.
Yeah.
But who can tell? Definitely unique machines,
Mhm.
which is cool. But where it could go, who knows? Because that is like the shortest of intro ever.
Yeah. So let's bring
Well,
up another a classic that is available on all other platforms that is now coming to the Quest is Dreadhalls. Now, who's played this out of you guys? Who's played this one?
I played it on the Gear VR, the original release.
Okay.
No, not me.
So it was on the PlayStation, but it was in a mixed bundle of 10 games. And for the life of me at the moment, I cannot remember what that bundle was called. And people were sort of... I don't think the bundle was very expensive, or it might have been in the beginning, I'm not sure. But when I picked it, it wasn't expensive. But people were saying to me, dude, 8 out of 10 of those games are terrible. There's only 2 games on it that are good. Yeah, and this was one of them. So I live streamed this game, dude. And like there was one point in the stream where the guys are telling me like what to do, how to do it, and Mrs. GT's on the couch with a dog, and dude, I swore, I'm shouting, like it bloody scared me, this game, to be honest with you.
It's truly terrifying, some of this game.
Yeah, it's really good. I think people on Quest are going to absolutely love it. It's one I'll definitely want to live stream when it comes.
I mean, it's also when it was on the gear, because the gear doesn't obviously have the 6th off. But you still be. I had a controller, so that 6th off is going to add to it that extra freedom. But it's really confined spaces a lot of the time. They did the sound quite well, and
Yeah,
I just think that's going to be really, really good. It's a good concept done well with minimal resources, and that's going to suit the Quest really, really well. I think anybody who plays it is definitely going to be on edge a lot, because it really, really does make you go, what's behind me? Is it going to be down this corridor? Is it down the next one? Oh my god! And then when you open a door and you see the shadows and stuff, and you're like, no, can't look at the shadows.
yeah.
It really does get you like that.
Yeah, it's bloody good, and I really look forward to playing it. So if you're looking for this on PlayStation VR, it comes in a pack called Hero Cave. Thank you to Cornerstone for that information. Welcome anyone in chat I haven't said hello to so far. I think someone said we had a donation earlier. I bloody missed it, I think.
$10.
Thank you ever so much, Robin Schuler. Thank you. Really appreciate it, as always. You do so much for this channel. It's crazy. Who's we got? From Facebook, we've got Peter. How is it going? Foster Cluck. Got to be so careful saying that name. Joystick. Fez. Are you here to test me? I think he's here to test me. That's what he does, things like that. Tasnik, how's it going, dude? You alright? If I've missed anyone, just let me know. I'm more than happy to give you a shout out, because if you're coming here, then it's brilliant. Thank you for being part of this. So, Dreadhalls, are you guys going to be checking that out?
I might get it for the Quest, yeah. I'll come down to the price. I don't see it being very expensive, though.
No, I don't think so.
I think they'll keep it in line with what they have in the past and just sell it to volume. It's one of those games that I think they can sell very well to volume. A lot of other games, I mean, it's not graphically brilliant. What it is gameplay wise. So if you do have the Quest and you're looking for something to basically scare the life out of you and put you on edge, then I think Dreadhalls is going to be a solid title for you to look at, as long as they get it right, which I imagine they will.
Yeah, so this one...
Well,
go on.
I was going to say, unfortunately, that game won't be on my radar because I don't do well with horror games. Again, that's one area where VR is just a little too real. And so, yes, I'm a wimp when it comes to horror games in VR. Sorry.
Do you know what? It's weird, right? And I talk to people about this. For me, I'm scared. Like one of the things I'll never forget in my whole life is when Silent Hill 2 come out. There's a couple of things that happen in that game. If you're really interested in how horror in gaming works and some of the stops they pulled out to make that happen, there is a making of Silent Hill 2, and it's fascinating. Like, it's about half hour long, and it's really fascinating. Mini Clay, and like, there was a bit in it where at the beginning you just kept walking and walking and walking down this path, and you're going down and down and down. And I remember actually playing this game and thinking, I've gone too far. Like, this, I've gone completely the wrong way, and I turned back, ended up getting all the way back, and like, well, obviously, no, I've not gone the wrong way. And when I watched the making, they were like, yeah, we wanted you to do that, because what that does is that you're walking further down the rabbit hole. You're going, but they wanted you to question, am I going the right way? Like, this can't be the right way. It's so far. They want, and basically what they're saying is, like, psychologically, you're going, I'll keep pushing, I'll keep going. And there was another bit where, and I played it from Friday afternoon after work till Sunday afternoon. Literally, I think I slept in it. Like, that was it. I literally played this game the whole time. And Mrs. GT was asleep, and it was about 6 in the morning, straight on, headphones, bosh, I'm back in Silent Hill 2. And we was in this toilet, and there was a door that you could knock on, and you pressing a button, and it kept sounding like someone was behind the toilet. And just for some reason, I was like, I'll just keep knocking. All the time, I just press X button. And in the end, right, I kid you not, there was the most huge, atrocious sound of what sounded like a body being dropped 100 foot or something. And, mate, my headphones flew off. I was like, bloody hell, like, it scared the crap out of me. It was completely random. It didn't even make sense, because someone would have to stand there and be as inquisitive as I was to keep knocking that door for a good 5 minutes. I was just like, something's going to happen, something's going to happen. And I got to the point, nothing's going to happen, nothing's going to happen. No, something might happen. And I kept going, and this noise, dude, and I'll never forget that for the whole of my life. And I just love being scared in horror games. I absolutely love it. I hate it and I love it.
I've got a mixed bag on that. I mean, horror is one of those things that can, like anything, can really get different people. I've never been, like, huge on horror films, I would say. Though I've obviously watched a lot of horror films through my life. One of my friends was big on horror films at a certain point there. But coming into horror in VR is a totally different scape, because, I mean,
Yeah.
so you've got either straight up jump scare horrors, you've got things that can be more specifically your triggers in terms of fears. So I've lived my actual nightmare in VR, which is being covered up with spiders, which is on my YouTube channel. I do scream excessively loud pitched and curl up into a ball in my chair.
Nice.
I literally did do the whole hands over headset, curled into a ball and screamed. Which was like, oh my god, it was ridiculous. But yeah, no, so many different things. So you have that side, and then you have the tension builders.
Yeah.
And obviously, Dread Halls is a mix of the tension builder and the shocks, you know, the jump scare.
Yeah.
It's got that tuned down to quite a fine art. I don't know about, obviously, what you're saying there with I've got the name of it there.
What's
It
that?
was just, well,
Oh, Dreadhalls.
not Dread Halls.
I was just talking about Silent Hill 2.
Yeah, that is what I was meaning. Silent Hill 2. I haven't played that because generally I don't go too much for horrors, but I can imagine some of the things that you end up having going on there.
We've all done Resident Evil 7 though, haven't we, here?
Yeah.
Lincoln.
Yeah, I've done it, and you know what? I'm gonna make that. It's a ways off, but I'm gonna make that a goal to try to finish this game by, say, next spring.
You haven't finished it?
I barely started it. I got to the point where I was supposed to go up into the attic, and the girl jumped out with the chainsaw as I was about to climb out of the window.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, up in the attic. That's how far I got.
Was that that was in the
And,
demo though as well, wasn't it? That bit or not? I can't remember.
No,
No,
that wasn't
the
it.
demo was I thought the demo was a pretty graphic. That's where the guy got decapitated and his head came rolling across the doorway.
The kitchen demo. Oh,
Yeah.
God. I couldn't go all the way through the kitchen demo. Was
that the one where you're with the DualShock and your hands are
Yeah.
together?
Yep, you're tied up in the chair.
the hands together? Yeah.
Yeah, just want to thank Shats for the donation, and also I agree. Here They Lie is absolutely fantastic. It is quite soft looking, graphically. Graphically is actually really brilliant. There's a lot of colour detail and stuff, but unfortunately you get this blur that PSVR games sometimes have. But there is an element in that game where, or a moment, sorry, in that game when you go into like a nightclub, and it's all like misty, and there's like a red light going with the music and stuff. And I swear it felt like I was actually walking into a bloody real nightclub. It was absolutely fantastic. I'll never forget that. The whole game's brilliant. So definitely big shout out to Shouts. Thank you ever so much for that. Resident Evil 7 is a must play, I believe. Absolutely. And I was talking to someone the other day about it, and they were saying, why hasn't it got aim controller support or move controller support? I
Doesn't need it.
No. Yeah, I agree. I think it plays very, very well in its own way. So let's check out that, which is completely wrong. I don't know if I can turn that round. 1 second. What we was going to talk about was something I can't turn round. I can't turn it round. Oh, man. I'll tell you what, let's leave that for a second because I can actually fix that in a little while. Let's quickly talk about Sir Reggie Strange. He has recently announced he is bringing a new game out very soon.
I don't know if he's in the chat. I know he said he was going to be in the chat. So
yeah. So if anyone doesn't know, Reggie Strange is from Strange Game Studios. He's the developer of the Honor Duty series and the most recent one, which is D-Day, and I believe he is also thinking of bringing that to Oculus, and it is going to be cross-platform. And is it 32 players?
I can't remember. It's got quite a few players. I know that.
Yeah,
yeah. Reggie's on.
Reggie's in there, is he?
Yeah, he's in the chat.
In the chat.
Nice, Strange Games. There he is, man. So I've and I know Nat has as well. We've spoken to Reggie many a time, and he is a solid guy. Yeah, in the community. Yeah, so there he says there, 32 player multiplayer combat, and there's vehicles, and it's a really good game. I definitely think everyone should check it out. Quite groundbreaking in the way that it is using lots of controllers all at once. You could be using the aim controller, then you pick up the DualShock to drive the Jeep you're in. Plus, you could use your move controller as like a pistol, you know,
or hand grenade.
Or hand grenade. Yeah, there's a lot going on there. So I think as a VR community, we've always got Reggie's back, haven't we?
Yeah, I mean, he's supported us big time. He's always open for questions. I've never not put a question or a query to Reggie and never not got an answer. So he's always been there. And he's obviously the biggest cheerleader for his own game, which he should be.
Yep.
And I think we've all said, especially the people that really bring up, well, it doesn't look that good. It doesn't matter with that game because it plays so well. Let's put it this way. Call of Duty could bring out a game on VR, and honestly, I'd have less faith in them making a gameplay experience. I know it would look a lot better, but I'd actually have less faith of them making a gameplay experience that is so much fun than what I expect Reggie to do. Reggie has looked at it, and he's just his one goal, from what I can tell, is fun. Yeah. Let's make this a really fun and enjoyable game. And as you guys said, no one else thought about adding 2 controllers in. Now, admittedly, I think it was Seraphim190 posed that to him. And how many developers will take a question from a community and sort of say, well, you know, is there any way with the aim controller that you could use the move controller as well as maybe an extra pistol, a knife, a grenade? And Reggie's like, I don't know. Let's try it.
Yeah.
Tried it, and it works really, really well.
Yeah. So, what I've done
I literally have a gun holster for my move controller when I play that game. So I have the move controller in a gun holster, strapped to my belt, ready for when I'm out of ammo on my main aim controller gun, so that I can literally just pull the move controller out and shoot someone in the head when they're trying to get me.
Nice.
It's
Wow.
What? Whoa! Tell us, Lincoln, what's happened?
No, that's pretty cool.
You didn't know? Have you not played this?
No.
See, I guess in a way, this is a very like back when I was very PSVR orientated only. I was always bigging up Reggie. Always like he'd jump into games with us in the community. We've interviewed him a number of times, and yeah, I guess we haven't really done much together for a while. So yeah, it's definitely worth checking out this game. It went from strength to strength, in my opinion, and like you just said, Seraphim actually was the inspiration to be able to knife people in virtuality. So, do you know what I mean? Like, and he would have been there talking to you about that. That's what Reggie's like. He's trying to bring a game that the community want all the time.
Well, it's the other thing as well is with the where Reggie has engaged with the community and done so many of the betas there, where it was like beta, and just reiterated through and just literally went, and you find what's working, you found what wasn't working, you did the whole thing, and we were streaming it at the same time when he was going through all this stuff, all of that. And it really did bring it home. It was great that you had that mix of not just VR, you have flat screen.
Yeah.
You've multiple controllers going on there. If you also have that going to cross-play onto the PC side as well. And 32 player, 16 versus 16 players in these maps. And like you say, they are pretty graphically, they're not going to blow your mind. They build enough atmosphere up, and they have the gameplay, and you've got like the feedback of people. And I was playing it first of all in one of the betas where there's a flat screen gamer, non-VR gamer there, and he's sort of like, "You're in VR," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm in VR." But how are we doing the same thing? I didn't realise there was VR on this. So it was really interesting.
I had the same thing sort of happen when I was playing Firewall, and Honor and Duty was like the hot topic, and they were saying, "Oh, there's no other games with the aim controller," and I was like, "Yeah, there is. There's Farpoint, there's Honor and Duty D-Day," and I said, "That's and just because it is the biggest thing for me as a selling pitch, is like with 32 players online, and this guy went to me, dude, that is impossible. No one can do that in virtuality." I was like, "I did it yesterday." It's like, it's not like I'm talking about something that hasn't happened. It's happened.
Yeah, it's there. It's there already. And the price.
Yeah. Sorry, Nat. What was that as well?
Well, I was going to say the thing I like about Reggie, apart from, like I say, he's always open. He always wants to think. He never has a no answer. You go to him with something, or as a community, I go with him to something, and he'll say, "We'll try." Because I remember when the game came out, it was like, we're going to try for 32 players.
Yeah.
Can't guarantee it, but we're going to try for it.
Yeah.
And as you said, the Firewall guys are going, can't do 32 players in VR. It's impossible. Can't do that. It's like, actually, this guy did do it.
Yeah.
And it's stable. It's solid. I mean, the betas obviously really helped with that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the one thing I always remember when Honor and Duty D-Day came out, because Reggie had been sort of like talking to a lot of us, and he was like, "Gonna get you a code now," and I was like, "Yeah, not a problem at all. I'll be grateful for it." The game come out, and it was like I hadn't received the code, and I was like, "I don't care. I'm gonna buy it. Sod it." And then literally, I think it was a few hours later, I got Reggie email me going, "Right, I've got your code for you. Sorry, it's a little bit late." I go, "Reggie, I brought your game." And literally, I got this massive apology from Reggie, and I'm like, "Reggie, I don't care.
No.
Give the code to a smaller YouTuber. Get them to get a bit of thing. I'm more than happy to pay for your game."
How much was it on release? Was it £7?
It was like, I think it was tenner or something. It was tenner.
I think I was straight on his
ridiculous.
case. Yeah, I was like, dude, that is too cheap for this. But
I think it was $10 or something like that, wasn't it? So,
Yeah.
and I was the same sort of thing with Nat there, where I was sort of like, yeah, I don't want the code on this one. I'm just buying it.
yeah.
You know,
Salsa. Let me get this straight, Salsa. You were able to use the aim controller as well as move controllers in this game?
Yes.
yes.
I'm sold.
You can use an aim controller and a DS4 controller.
Yeah.
You can use an aim controller and a move controller. You
Simultaneously.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can use the what do you call it? The thing on the ground as well, the rudder.
Yeah,
The-
yeah,
the-
3D rudder support, yeah.
So you can use dual wield move controllers, or an aim controller and the rudder.
Yeah.
I'm sold because there's a little bit of a compromise with the first person shooter games on PC and on PlayStation VR. Games like Firewall, you have the aim controller, but when it comes to throwing grenades, reloading your guns, that kind of stuff, you have to press a button to do that. But I do like the peripheral of the aim controller. But when you go over on the PC side, there's no peripheral to hold. You have to hold the move controllers in that imaginary position.
Yeah.
Or you have to spend the £100 on a Pro Tube or something else like that.
Right. So when it comes to playing it on PC, you do have the immersion as well as the interactive, being able to grab grenades, physically pull the pins from them and throw them, physically being able to load your gun. And I love that part of it. But then when you go to you have to hold your hands in that position right there. It's kind of hard to steady it. So to know that you can do, that honor and duty brings both of those elements together, I'm sold.
There's little bits, man. Like, as I said to you, like if you jump in a Jeep or a tank, you can pick up your dual shock, and then you can see that can be connected as well at the same time. So you can use that.
Yeah.
You can play it purely on moves. You can play it just on the dual shock, just on the moves, just for the aim controller. Like he literally went to town and done every single method of controls available on PlayStation VR. And as Salsa rightly said as well, and there's 3D rudder support, which I believe when I interviewed him last time, he said he'd done it in 2 hours. Like the guy is a legend. Do you know what I mean? To be fair, he's done a lot, man. He's done a lot. Quickly, just go back to the chat. We got Shat, JD Max. Hello, Shats again. I know I've already said hello to you, man. I forget. Dark. Who else did we get? Atomic Wasteland. Nice. I just saw Sunny in VR. Hello, Tasnik. Secrets of. Not sure if I missed you guys earlier. Where is that comment? Cornerstone. A lot of smaller studios are putting the big developers to shame. Our game cannot be done in VR, and then No Man's Sky comes to VR. Drops the mic. Like, yeah, it's excellent, dude. Yeah. It's excellent. Like, so, yeah. So what I've done as well, if anyone didn't see it in the chat, if you want to scroll up, there's a link to Strange Game Studios' Twitter page. Jump on there. There is a screenshot of some sort of symbol, basically saying that he's got something to announce very soon. If you're on Twitter, please jump over there, check him out, follow him. Keep an eye on this guy. Big things happening. And then last time I spoke to him as well, is he mentioned Star Wars and Tron being in a game. Like a game.
We had that conversation on here, didn't we? Because he was saying about that.
Yeah.
And we, like a light cycle. I think all of us were like, go to Disney. Ask them.
Yeah.
If you don't ask them, you're not going to get. The worst that can happen is Disney turn around and say, no, we're not going to give you the Tron license to do a light cycle game.
Yeah.
That's fine. Okay, we'll just do your own light cycle game. What are Disney going to do? Call it something else.
Yeah,
But to be honest, if you give me a light cycle game, I'm there.
Yeah,
I'll
man.
never get off the damn. I'll never get out the PSVR headset, man.
Yeah. So unfortunately, we can't talk about Contractors is coming to Oculus Quest, and there is some video footage of the gameplay. Unfortunately, the format that my email has sent it over is, but it's not on here. I don't know why it's like that. Is basically landscape. So you're going to be playing it like this, looking at it sideways. So we won't bother doing that, but it is retweeted on my Twitter, and hopefully everyone else can sort of share it around. If you know Contractors, you know it's going to be a good game, and from the gameplay I've seen, it looks impressive. So
what GT meant by that is it's portrait and not landscape.
Yeah, portrait, landscape. So let's
Whatever.
talk. Yeah, man. Let's next talk about and it was the talk of the week, I think, a little bit apart from the HTC Vive Cosmos, is the No Man's Sky update that was discovered by some website, I can't remember. It was basically found in the experimental build changelog notes that was posted on Steam that there is going to be a significantly improvement to image quality on the PCVR, and it says reduced blurriness caused by TAA jitter and fixed low quality terrain atmosphere jaggies. Now, I had this stream labelled as pro patch, and Salsa went, don't do that, it's not a pro patch. So as normal, we're always transparent on here. I got it wrong. What do you guys know about this?
Pretty much what you've said.
Yeah, it's basically the PSVR one. It's just that they found some different things there to reduce the blur down, and that's for OG PS4 Pro across the board. It's not a Pro patch. It's not specifically for people on Pro. It's for the PSVR version. So it's not a Pro patch yet. That's still something that'll be on the back burner because they're still constantly churning through updates at an astounding rate on the PC. I mean, I can't keep up with the number of updates. Every single day goes by and you're like, how many updates have gone by? It's like sometimes you might only have one update in a day. Other times, on the beta channel, because I use the beta channel of this on the PC. Sometimes you've got like 3 or 4 different beta versions which go out in the same day.
Yeah.
And other times you might have only one in a couple of days. And then every so often they go, right, that's at a certain stage, and they've got another bit of their team is probably working on the PSVR parts as well. And they go, right, let's collate all of that, get that together, and you've managed to do that bit for the PSVR? Okay, we're ready to ship that now as a complete thing. Because obviously, as a platform, PSVR, it takes more to get through Sony and launch that on that platform.
Yeah, and there's something that I learned, and I don't know if any developers watch this, but Reggie enlightened me that basically if you put your game out there, because like Nat was saying about the importance of betas, I think we had that in Orange Duty, didn't we? Is a beta time. Yes. And he basically said if you have a game on beta on PlayStation VR, you can update it whenever you want and do whatever you need to it. And he used that to the best of his ability to basically just pump out updates. So it's very important, that side of things. I think if I was a developer, I'd really want to know about that to get that right.
That could have changed Space Junkies. So
yeah,
you took the words right out of my mouth.
The beta,
the situation with Space Junkies. That game, in terms of the clarity, the PlayStation VR version of that game is within the ballpark of PC. So I'm at the point where it doesn't matter to me which one I play it on. If I happen to be on the PlayStation VR and I say I feel like playing Space Junkies, I don't feel like I gotta shut off the PSVR and jump over to the PC. Is good enough on PlayStation VR that I'm fine with staying right there and playing Space Junkies. So to hear about all these updates on No Man's Sky coming out one right after the other, then I would be led to believe that No Man's Sky is going to get to that point where I don't care which side I play it on. Things as they sit right now, if I play with friends, I'll go on the PlayStation VR. If I'm playing by myself, I'll go on PC for the clarity.
Yeah, so I just want to state that Lincoln loves his graphics, do you know what I mean? He's a very graphical person. He will usually, if a game's identical or whatever, he will just go, no, I'm chasing the graphical version of this regardless. So, that's quite a statement, what you're saying there. I think Space Junkies looks fantastic on both systems, and everyone was going on about the advantage that PC players had over PSVR players because of the move controllers with the joysticks. I went online and I proved it in a live stream, and not everyone obviously watches my live streams at the time. I was smashing PC players. fine. Do you know what I mean? And I was winning matches. I was coming first and second all the time. So it wasn't like, end of the day, I was like trying to say, look, dude, like, no, that's not true. I know. Don't get me wrong. I'm the first person to, or all of us, I'm sure, will go. The moves need thumbsticks. Like, there's no question in that, surely. But is the game playable without them? Yeah, it is. It is playable without them. So.
Well, yeah, it is. We all know the thumbstick thing with PlayStation moves, which is just annoying. Of course, they're really good for sword games as well, though. Beat Saber is the best feeling controllers to play Beat Saber is the PS moves. But I don't know. There's a lot coming here. I mean, like I say, for when it comes back to No Man's Sky and this update, I think it's going to be in the right direction. And then when they get to a certain point where they go, okay, here is a pro patch as well, then, there's a lot of people out there with PSVRs who do have PS4 Pros for VR.
Yeah, personally, I upgraded.
Yeah, I upgraded as well.
Yeah.
Only for the VR. I don't have 4K monitors.
No.
I have, normal sort of like 27-inch monitors. I don't have 4K. So it was purely for VR that I upgraded to the Pro. So it's all coming there. It's all a case of keeping in with the developing and working at it. And that's, again, what comes back to what a lot of the smaller developers have done. And that's continually work with communities and go, hey, tell us what your issues are. Here's like test channels. Here's a way to give us the feedback. Here's a way to see what we can do to make this better. And they've continually iterated on it. They've optimized it down. They've done so much stuff.
I think they've approached it right as well, that they've gone for gameplay fixes over graphics. Because if you are like DJ or Shats or anyone else on here, JD and all that, who are like, we love the game even with the blur, that's correct. Like, you need to get the foundations right, and the visuals are second.
How the visuals?
Sorry?
Well, Anthem looks really good.
Graphics are nothing if you don't have the gameplay. Yeah, definitely.
Is that what you're saying?
Anthem is a graphical powerhouse. It looks really good. Unfortunately, it's one of the worst playing games ever.
I played the beta of that game and I absolutely loved Anthem, and then I read about Anthem and I was like, oh, yeah, it's but yeah, you're right. Visually, that game is absolutely stunning. I really enjoyed Anthem. So yeah, I mean, but don't get me wrong, man. I am more than excited to get a visual update for this game. It does need it. I think everyone accepts that it needs it, or they welcome it. And you brought up a good thing there, South, about doing the pro thing, because that's exactly what happened to me. I bought my PlayStation, my VR. I was like amazed by it, absolutely loved it. And then someone said like, "Oh, you can get pro patches for games," and it was one of those things where you've already invested in the headset and the Move controllers and some games, and you're thinking, right, I've already sort of invested a lot of money in this. I can sell my OG PS4 for, I think I got £100 for it, for another 240 quid. I'm going to get a Pro. And they was doing some bundle deals as well, so you get some games and stuff. So, and I noticed the difference a lot, especially in, I think, Super Hot, VR Worlds. Because I don't know if you download the patch on the OG, does it know if you've got a Pro? Does it just sit there, or I don't know?
They're essentially the same game files or whatever, but when you're on a Pro, it knows this is a Pro version, so it just uses it.
Yeah, like I noticed a massive difference.
Obviously, I've got an OG sitting here, and I've got a Pro sitting over there.
Yeah.
So that I compare back. Though I don't always put out the amount of videos on that. I have done a couple of OG versus Pro versions, and that's how you do it. You literally go, here's an OG PS4. You don't turn off the Pro patch on a Pro. It's just there.
DJ just wrote something about Quicksilver. Don't forget the Quicksilver multiplayer quests are finally coming to No Man's Sky. I'll be honest with you, dude, that means nothing to me. Does it mean anything to anyone else here?
No, we're not as far
I
along.
have no idea.
So DJ is like completely living in No Man's Sky at the moment. I'm pretty sure he hates going to work even more than ever before in his life because No Man's Sky is sitting at home. So yeah, what have we
But
got?
that's kind of a good thing though, because I felt like we needed that game on any VR format. That somebody would still want to play it 2 months from now just as much as they did the day that the game came out. Because I think that's we need games with some longevity.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we also JD was bringing up Skyrim as well. Skyrim I always come back to again, but it's if you do like content creation or whatever with the stream of new games that come out as well, they can be real time eaters.
Yeah.
So that means that you can't always look at different things. I'm having, there are a few games that I like playing, a few types of games that I like playing, that are complete and utter time consumers. And, things like Skyrim VR, I love that. It is what they've done on the PSVR version for that, the Pro patch and the OG, where they brought them up so it's a lot harder to see the difference between them, was amazing because they got that gain there. Because originally, when it first came out, the OG version was like having smeared, someone like got some Vaseline and smeared over the lens or something like that. And that's how I felt with the first OG one. Then they eventually patched up to the point where it came a lot closer to what the PS4 Pro was originally on release, and stuff like that. And you play that game so much, and then you got something like the race side. All the time waster games that take up hours and hours and hours, and then we have quite a relentless stream of games, of new games that come out.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So let's jump on to Nintendo this week. A website called Let's Go Digital found that Nintendo have filed a patent for a new VR headset. It still doesn't feature any straps, so you're still going to have to hold it like you did traditionally Nintendo Labo. But what it does look like is that they're not giving up on VR. And I thought that was quite an important thing to bring out because even though... how can I put it? It was kind of No Man's Sky blurry in there sometimes. I think once you split the screen down, I think with the Switch, when you have it docked, it's 1080p. When you undock it, it's 720p. And when they're splitting the screen, it's a 480p image. So that is a low resolution image. But it's Nintendo quality games. And what I played on there, I absolutely loved. My little girl loved it. Did it have any longevity? Probably not as much as I'd have liked. But then it was only £35 for 6 games on there, and I actually don't think she has gone through them all yet. And that's also to say, it was more probably the cardboard thing that made it hard to use anyway, because like putting it on your face for a long period of time, and it is subjective to people's faces. I actually felt it here and here again. My cheekbones again are getting in the way, same as they do. But what do you guys think of this? With Nintendo staying here,
It wasn't designed as a long-term thing. I hadn't heard of this one because to me, it looks like another thing along the same line again. That pattern there looks like Labo VR.
Yeah, but if you look at the headset, it's not cardboard.
Yeah.
And
But
if I go back to the other image quickly,
it's a thing of comfort. That's cool, but it's maybe the Labo Advanced, the Labo Comfort. Who knows?
yeah, I'm not sure, but I mean, it's probably a bit of a jump. From this
How
back.
much of a headache was it to put that together?
Do you know, it wasn't a headache though at all. It was like making IKEA furniture. I did some of it live, and I really, really enjoyed it. If you like building Lego or anything of that sort, it was actually really good fun. and I believe that is part of the attraction of Nintendo Labo. Like, my daughter built that. She built this blaster thing. Like, it's crazy, dude. Like,
Oh wow.
yeah, and like you actually, like, that's now, if you pull it back, it cocks. There's the trigger. Like, that's the real thing, and she would play it like that, like basically looking down it. And it's
Okay, so is that cardboard durable, or does it look like something where you have to be careful with it in order not to wear it out?
I wouldn't play it in the rain, but apart from that, it seems to be absolutely fine, dude. Like, I think this bit here, right? If you put the Joy-Con in it, that's the zoom feature. So you like that, and then if you put it like that, it zooms in. That's what Nintendo do. Do you know what I'm saying? Like developers like Reggie Strange, they try different things, and that's why Nintendo Labo for me was quite an important thing to back and check out, because you got to do this stuff. Do you know what I mean? For £30, I'm like, dude, what are we going to try? £30. Let's go. Let's just see how it goes. And it was good. It was good. So, oh, Shats remembers watching me build it. Yeah, I like the camera here looking down on my desk. Yeah, I've never watched that video back, so I don't know if it's any good.
So this patent leads me to believe that this new VR headset might be for people who like the Labo but didn't want to go through the obstacle of putting it together.
There you go. Yeah, there's another thing I didn't even think of. Yeah, absolutely. I was thinking across comfort, and you're thinking, yeah, that's true.
I've got obviously, speaking of patents, a little bit away from Nintendo, but somebody else has also filed a patent this last week, and that's Google for Stadia VR.
Stadia. Okay.
Yeah. So Google has filed a VR patent, which people are thinking is going to be for Stadia.
This is news to me, dude. Good news. Talk to me.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I did not know that. I've never heard anyone say that.
Obviously, the patent out there, because I mean, the big problem with VR in terms of any gaming that's cloud based is reliant on your internet connections and networking. So this is obviously going to be like 5G type of integrated and all that business, but if you don't have a PC and stuff like that, the potential is that you can get good, high-quality graphics where you have the connection.
Yeah.
That's the thought behind it. Because you won't need to have a crazy powerful headset or a crazy powerful PC, because that's all being done on the cloud side. But it does mean that you're reliant on connections. But, yeah, Google basically out there with a patent on VR. So whether anything comes of it truly, it's a wait and see game.
So it'd be interesting to see what they're going to do as far as the headset goes, because the purpose of Stadia right now is the cloud-based gaming without the console, without the PC. So is that the same philosophy that they would apply in VR, where you can use a headset without the need for a console or a PC?
Yeah, basically.
Well, there's, to be honest, when Salsa said there's another patent come out, I wasn't expecting the Stadia one. I was expecting the one that Facebook filed, because Facebook have filed a new patent for the Oculus Quest, a new version of it.
Yes, I did.
With a where a link to the carrying case. So the carrying case literally charges it and it links to it and everything. I mean, the one thing I will say with Nintendo, because honestly, Labo doesn't interest me. Nintendo making VR games does interest me, because Nintendo make very, very good games. And they make games as well that are perfectly suited to VR. I mean, we've already got Mario Kart in VR arcades.
Yeah.
The thing that I think changes the rule book for everybody, for Sony, for Nintendo, even to Xbox, although as I say, unfortunately, I saw somebody say, will Xbox ever do VR? I honestly don't know. But I think the one thing that has changed the rule book across the board is the Oculus Quest, because Facebook have proved that the Oculus Quest, you don't need the greatest power in the world to offer amazing and fantastical experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And I can quite easily see Nintendo bringing out a standalone VR headset a la Oculus Quest and having exclusive Nintendo content on there, as well as obviously getting people like Super Hot and stuff like that, bringing their new games over as well. But I say, I honestly, Oculus Quest changes everything. With what Facebook did, it really changes everything. And then you look at all the other patents that Sony have filed. I mean, there's patents that literally make, I posed a question a long time ago saying, was Sony going to do a hybrid VR headset that you could play the games separately, just the headset by itself, but if you were at home, you could it would wirelessly connect to the PS5 and allow you to get more oomph and power in certain games to play that way. I've said this, I think it was last week or the week before, the future for VR is so exciting.
Yeah.
Because there's so much of unknown. When we look back 3 years ago, when the Oculus Rift initially came out and PlayStation VR came out, and obviously HTC Vive came out, it was like, wow, the future is endless. There's endless possibilities. We're 3 years into that cycle, and the possibilities have just grown wider. They haven't narrowed. They've got wider thanks to the Oculus Quest, the Valve Index, and obviously something that we're going to be bringing up soon, the HTC Cosmos. So, like I say, I've had a few people turn around and say that my passion for VR isn't there anymore. No, my passion for VR is still there, big time. The one thing I will say now is I'm not willing to accept demos as games anymore. The games I want now, I want games. I want Astrobot. I want Blood and Truth. I want Skyrim. I want Borderlands 2. I want games. I'm not willing to accept a demo anymore that somebody's willing to bring out. So my passion for VR, no, that's unwavering, because, and like I said, I think it was last week or the week before, we're going to look back at VR in 10 years' time, what we were playing, 10 years ago, and we're going to be laughing our backsides off.
Yeah.
We really are, because it's just like, do you remember when we had the PSVR and we thought it was the bee's knees? There's just going to be so many amazing facilities. So, like I say, I really enjoy looking at patents, but you obviously do have to take patents with a pinch of salt. That these companies file thousands of patents every day. I think the last one I saw for PlayStation VR was eye tracking, an eye tracking patent. Which would be really cool. But
definitely a good thing.
Yeah, but Sony's next thing, and I think they're actually fulfilling it. I remember Mark Cerny coming out and saying the next thing we want to do with VR, and I think Blood and Truth is actually a really good example. Like I say, my issue with Blood and Truth is gameplay. It's nothing to do with story and everything else, because that's top notch. It's best of class. The thing he's turned around and said is NPC interactions. We want to go to the next level of NPC interactions, and I think with Blood and Truth they did do that.
Oh yeah, their animation, storytelling, how they've dealt with everything there was pretty much on point. A lot of the best examples of things that really get you immersed is some of the NPCs, and you saw it with things like rigs. I don't know how many of you sat there with rigs in the plane after you've played a game, and when your teammates are going, yeah, and you've gone, yeah, we've come in good with that, and sort of like interacted with these NPC computer rendered VR characters that are just there as whatever, and and started talking to them or whatever.
Yeah, man.
It happens.
So before we jump into talking about the HTC Vive Cosmos, let's quickly jump into the chat. Also, have we got everything ready for? Is there any mention of the VR link in the Discord this week? I haven't checked it myself.
It kind of like comes along to in the Discord. We've got one particular question, which was where's my thing gone? It's around here somewhere. There it is. So this was from Deej, who is always good at this. So he was it's more to Nat as well.
Oh,
As a big NFL fan, so it's really to him and Lincoln. I've not kept up on the NFL myself too much, but what do they think of 2MD? And do you think there will ever be a fully licensed NFL game in VR? Because, personally, he wants to see some of the stadiums, especially the AT&T stadium, and being able to play a Super Bowl experience himself in VR. So I don't know what you guys think on that. It's directed towards Lincoln and Nat. So
Oh, I got a lot to say about that. I've said that. I've been saying that for a while. That is my ultimate goal, is to see a game like Madden fully playable in VR. Not modes, not demos, a complete game fully playable in VR. Games like NBA 2K, games like MLB The Show, fully playable in VR. 2MD I think it's the best you're gonna get on PlayStation VR. But if you have the Oculus Rift headset, then I have to recommend VR Sports Challenge. It has elements of football, basketball, baseball, and hockey in there. The football elements of VR Sports Challenge, there's drills you can do, passing drills, receiving drills, run after the catch. And those drills have showed me that we've come far enough along in VR that a fully playable football game in VR can be done. It doesn't necessarily have to be an NFL game, but it can be done. And I'm really, really hoping that somebody does that, because when I play VR Sports Challenge, to walk, to be out there on that field and look around inside that stadium and see thousands of people, and the graphics are actually pretty good in that game. So yes, I'm with you on that. I would love nothing better for that to be kind of like my ultimate goal, to be like a Tom Brady or something like that in VR, in the Super Bowl or something. So yes, I'm with you 100% on that. Go ahead, 7 Degrees, take it away.
I haven't played 2 Minute Drill. I did see it, and it was just like, well, it's all I could saw it as is a quarterback throwing mechanic. And like I said, at that point when it came out, I was just kind of starting to get to the hump where I was saying I want proper games, not demos. To me, 2MD is a demo, really cool demo, but it's still a demo at the end of the day. To go to Lincoln's point, will there be an NFL game in VR? Yes. I don't think it's going to be this generation, because there is a lot of things they need to bring to task, because obviously you got a load of players either side, and they would have to work out all the defensive lines, wide receivers, running backs, quarterbacks, and everyone else. But yeah, as I say, I don't see no reason why. To be honest, I expect to see it on PC first. The biggest crux for a lot of people that would want a NFL American football game is EA have got the license.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
my only concern is I've always said there is going to be indie developers, a small developer, that are going to blow us away. They're going to think of something that no one else has, and we've seen little bits of that moving on, and we've discussed that in the show today. There is going to be someone out there that is going to figure out how to do all the positions on the game. But if you want to play a game as a defensive lineman, or you want to play a game as a wide receiver, you will play the game rather than actually being transitioning. But I think it will come to PC first. My only concern is, will people buy in because they can't be on? Like, I'd want to be on the New York Giants. Somebody would want to be on the Miami Dolphins. Somebody would be on the San Francisco 49ers. Somebody will want to be New England Patriots. So they can pretend that they're the new Tom Brady. that's the concern that I would have. No matter how good the game is,
Mm.
would people buy in? Because we've seen there's been some really, really good NFL games that haven't had the official NFL license, and they've died on just normal consoles. But yeah, I can see it, but I don't think it's going to. I would say maybe mid-generation of PS5. I think it's a few years away because there's just so many variants.
Pro Evo doesn't have a license, does it? And yet that's
No.
seen as.
Well, it has certain team licenses.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Mhm.
Sorry, Sal. So your mouth's ready. I can see it.
Yeah, was just saying about what about the third person stuff in VR as well, like classic Madden style view from just up above, like where you're viewing as a TV show type thing and moving with the lines as it goes down the field. The other one was as a sports game. First, I have to be very careful saying this again.
Yeah.
Was bringing up something like actually wheelchair basketball, not only to highlight the sport, but it can work in VR as well. Good immersive thing for a lot of people. Sit in the chair, do the whole thing. But yeah, it's. What do you guys think about the third person though as well? Not just the first person football experience, the third person.
I gotta have first person because that's the whole immersion, to be able to be in the huddle.
Wouldn't a third person be more for like maybe a management style VR?
Yeah, like maybe a franchise mode or something, and I think in third person would be pretty
Some
cool.
people
But
love
also,
that, don't they?
yeah, something else that I'd love to see happen. You know, I know it wouldn't happen. If it did happen, it probably wouldn't happen for like 10 years or so, but I would love to see a fully playable football game in VR where you have like 5-on-5 multiplayer, where I'm the defensive lineman trying to get past a live blocker who's trying to protect the quarterback.
Yeah.
Because I would love something like that, because if somebody blows their assignment, there's going to be a lot of cussing and screaming on the other side. So I would love something like that. That is my ultimate dream, and that's why I feel you, me, everybody that's involved in VR has to do their part to promote VR, so you can ultimately see the game that you want come to fruition.
Yeah.
The tech's got to catch up to the idea at the end of the day.
The thing is, we talk about current generation. PC will always be current generation, as long as you can keep the hardware going. And like as we're going to talk about the Vive Cosmos at the moment, different HMDs and stuff like that. That is what's going to change so much. So it's very different, isn't it, to console, PC? It never stops moving forward. To be honest, if you want to stay on that brink of what's going to happen next, PC seems to be the place where it's going to happen first. And most things are developed using Windows. So.
But in answer to the question, yes, I do think an NFL game will eventually come to VR. It's just a case of when, not if. And like Lincoln, I want it to be in first person because I want to be LT destroying quarterbacks. As Lincoln said, missing the assignment. LT is the greatest of all time. I don't care what anybody says. He changed the game.
I was mentioning
Can you
tech.
imagine the trash talk when you beat somebody? You know, somebody's trying to block you, and and I beat him, and I got to the quarterback, and the trash talk that would go in a game, something like that. I wouldn't be able to get enough of it.
You see, I would still also like to play, myself, be able to play a more classic Madden style third person as well. Just because I'd like observing the entire formation and stuff like that, and just doing it that way as well. And as much as you can say it works in the first person, it'll work in the first person. There's so many cases out there where people have gone, that won't really be as good or as interesting as a third person. But then we've got so many games out that have done third person and other views that people initially were sort of like, why would you do that in VR, that really do work well.
I haven't come across a camera angle in a VR game that I didn't enjoy. if it was meant to work. Third person, first person, it's all good with me. Does anyone else feel the same with that? I do.
Yeah, I do. Generally, I feel basically the same on that.
Yeah.
But of course, um, everybody to their own on that. I do get the whole thing of doing a first person as well, but I would also like to see a third person because I think it will bring a different, just having a different perspective, be able to look around in a different way,
Yeah.
can often add that extra dimension that you didn't have elsewhere.
Yeah, and like the thing about Astrobot is it actually made use of that third-person camera really well, because the other thing, I guess, doing a third-person game in VR, if you remember when you played third-person platformers, the camera can literally be the all or nothing in a game. If it doesn't work and it doesn't follow that character right, and it isn't done well enough, it will ruin the game because you can't make the jumps properly, you can't see what you got to collect, blah blah blah. Astrobot did that, but also you were the camera. So you were going along and there was like interactive bits where you'd headbutt objects as you're going along. Like I found myself just you're running around a level in Astrobot and you're exploring, looking for the little bots to find or the coins. Third person makes it fantastic. Sal, so what's going on in the chat, dude? Something's happening.
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking that Fez thinks that I'm going to be a great blocker, basically, because anybody on the other team isn't going to want to see me coming right at them.
No, but
I would probably, I could probably steamroll quite a few people as it is at the moment because I'm a good over 18 stone weight. So
18 stone. That's all right. That's not too bad.
Yeah, that's not good. That's like really bad for me. But yeah, I could definitely flatter a few people. If that quarterback comes anywhere near me, he's going to be completely flat.
Yeah.
Dumb.
And I'm the quarterback that's screaming at the guy that missed his assignment that let you through,
Yeah.
And I want to dispute a couple of things that, like, we've got Dart who said NFL in first person would be too disorienting, and but someone else had said something. But when you play VR Sports Challenge, when you're the quarterback and you throw that ball, once the ball is in flight, you become the receiver. So it's up to you to put your hands where the ball is going to land and then use the triggers to squeeze the ball and catch it. So I think, that's the perfect, especially in first person. And the way this game works is once, a receiver runs his route, once he gets the separation from the defensive back, he will glow green, letting you know that that's the open receiver right there. So that game right there, 100% showed me that it can be done. And I would pretty much say go check out VR Sports Challenge, videos, trailers, what have you. Check it out.
Yeah. I just want to say, Sonny said he's 9.5 stone. That's amazing, isn't it? There was a guy. So I think the only guy I've ever met who was 9.5 stone. I was going to write something, but I've told it now. He had like this car, and it was souped up. Now, 9.5 stone in a car probably means you don't make really any impact on that car's performance. Agreed? Yeah, you can
definitely, depending on a car's performance, definitely make a performance difference with your weight.
So
I can't even remember when I was 9.5 stone.
That's what I was going to say.
I was like 3 or something.
I remember being 11 stone at one stage. I don't know how old I was then, but I remember being 11 stone. But this guy said to me, "I've got this car, bring it round." Blah, blah, blah. And I said, "Yeah, no worries, man." I got in it. He tried to tear off down the road and stuff, and he went, "Dude, you are ruining my car. Like, just get out." You slowed it down.
I wanted to do a thing around the Nordschleife, the Nuremberg Ring.
Oh.
And most of them, if you are doing a 2-seater performance car like taxi ride, they have a weight limit because you will affect the balance of the car.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I'm just north of that. I need to get that down in the next year. So I need to work on this, get that down so that I can go do some real life laps around the Nordschleife at some point.
Nice. I don't know if you're thinking, but we have like a BMI check. It's like a health test thing. and I'm clinically obese. I'm clinically obese, and you know,
Oh,
even though
yeah, that's the whole thing of the BMI
it's
doesn't
stupid.
kind of work out. It's the thing of muscle versus fat and things like that. Because if you've got a lot of muscle, which basically, let's just face it, you've got a good bit of muscle there, GT. Um,
The boy
It-
is as wide as he is tall.
struggle to fit indoors. No, it's nothing like that. Yeah.
oh, that's cool, by the way, Buck. Um, Basically, obviously, your BMI is like if you're all muscle, your BMI is going to be wrong
Yeah, it's
because
crazy.
yeah, you can't base it off that. When you're looking at things for health wise properly, you look at what's your height, what's your fat content in your body, what's your muscle mass, things like that. That's the healthy way to look at it, not to think of the BMI one because weight doesn't always translate exactly.
Right. We need to press on with the HTC Vive
We
Cosmos.
do. We don't want to tease this out like their advertising campaign has. Like we've done one bit at the beginning of this stream saying Cosmos, a bit saying Cosmos. They've been saying in chat about Cosmos. Then we came back, and then we came forwards, and then we've come back, and now we're coming back again. Pretty much my big rant about HTC and their marketing, which has been, oh my god, I've wanted to just pull my hair out about their marketing over this. It's been dreadful.
Let me just quote some stuff about this headset. If people don't know, stop me if I'm wrong, Sousa, because I know you probably know the specs of this off the top of your head. So it is priced at $699. For that price, you get a year of Viveport Infinity, worth £107. It also has an interchangeable faceplate. So it has inside-out tracking, 6 cameras. And what you can do is put this faceplate over it, which then allows you to use your HTC lighthouses, which you can also use with the Valve Index as well. So if you've got them and you prefer that lighthouse tracking, you can do that. Now, personally, I've only used lighthouse tracking at events, and I thought it was fantastic. It was really, really accurate. It's got a Halo-style head-mounted display, similar to the PSVR and the Rift S, but one of the things I think is really cool is you can flip the headset up to look around. Another thing, and by the way, I am actually quite a big fan of this headset. As I said, 6 camera sensors for inside-out tracking, 110 degrees for a field of view. If you use pass-through on the headset, it is in colour and not in black and white like the Oculus Quest. 2880 by 1700 combined pixel resolution, which is an 88% increase over the original Vive. It's a RGB LCD display. They're saying that increase and that use of that RGB, basically they can get rid of the screen door effect, and text is super clear. Apparently the screen door effect is like one of the things a lot of people who are reviewing it are mentioning. Like, and I'm wondering whether it's one of those things where, like, when I went from the PSVR to the Rift about the God rays, where it never really bothered me till I saw it gone. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I knew the difference. So yeah. I do want to get hands on. I'd love to get hands on with it, should I say. I love the glowing controllers. The refresh rate is 90 Hz. I believe the Rift S was 72. So a lot of people were bugged out by the 72 Hz, weren't they? Is that right, South?
That's on the Rift S.
Quest.
Rift
The
S
Rift S is 80 Hz and the Quest is 72.
Oh, there you go. Sorry. Yeah. And you can also buy a wireless adapter, which I think's been around before. And I've added to the notes that I think this is one of the sexiest headsets that I've seen. Like, just visually, I do want this. I think it looks fantastic. I think the controllers look absolutely like amazing. So, I mean, I'm saving for a Rift S at the moment. This, when you come across the price thing going against the Valve Index, that's going to be your problem and stuff. And I can see
a big price difference here.
Yeah.
So FOV is the same, 110.
As everything else, pretty much.
Yeah, apart from Index, which is like roughly 130. The FOV counts are never precise because you've got to remember however far your head is from different parts, your eye distance, things like that actually do affect the FOV.
Just touch on that. With the Valve Index, you can bring them in and out, can't you?
Yep.
So when I used the Valve Index after the VR Oasis, and I honestly, like, and this is where I know now the importance of FOV, I couldn't see borders. I couldn't see anything else but picture. So, you know, like, and that's where you're going to talk about the price thing. I think there's a lot of good features on this. I think if it was £100 cheaper, it'd have been a completely different conversation, I believe, because you're touching Valve Index areas with this. But it's got the inside-out tracking as well. So, and you know, and
it's a different base of tracking as well. Say what we've got on the Oculus Quest and with the Rift S is infrared based. These are normal color camera based. They're normal video cameras.
yeah,
They're not AR based, infrared based. So they could have some potential issues with light and gleam and things like that. You don't get with the controllers like these touch controllers, you know, where you can't see the lights.
yeah,
Whereas on the Cosmos, you are going to see the lights.
yeah.
One of my other things with this headset, you've gone through all those specs there, and nowhere does it say about the fact that you can actually have independent hand and finger tracking off of the headset like that.
You just yeah.
It can track your hands and your finger movements without a controller.
Yeah, I didn't touch on that because I didn't read enough about it. So I'm always worried about quoting something that I don't know enough about. You know, so I sort of step away from it.
You can actually do that on the Vive and the Vive Pro now as well. So it's software based, it's not hardware based, but presumably with the 6 cameras, that will be better than what you would get with the current 2 cameras on the Pro and the single camera on the Vive. I mean, it's similar to what one of I've got it in here somewhere. Yeah, it's in there somewhere. One of the Leap Motions does, but not with the same technology, basically. But you could have some different things in there. Now, obviously, screen-wise, yeah, you expect the screens to be good. That resolution is going to be a big jump up.
Yeah, someone else said. I think Ham. He said it's a high, but it's a high. So it's the high. Is it the highest res headset yet? Is it apart from the Pimaxes and stuff like the Rift S, sorry, and the Valve? This has got a higher resolution than those two, isn't it?
In its price band, it is, yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and they
isn't the HP Reverb 2160p?
Don't know.
Yeah.
No.
This is one. Yeah, but this is 1,700. So it's what is it per? Let me go back. I've got the spec.
Oh,
here.
hold on. What are you saying per eye? So it is 1440 by 1700 per eye, pixels per eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it is pretty class leading in that. It's also LCD. So it's going to have full RGB stripe in that.
Yeah, it's a 3 pixel setup in it, so that's a big deal.
Yeah, the image quality is supposed to be fantastic. Like, and as Ham was saying, like that FOV with that amount of it, that should be a massive, like, picture quality upgrade.
It should be a very good picture quality upgrade. I mean, who else has used a Vive Pro here?
Have I? I did at Gamescom, I think, a Pro.
You did it.
Is that the blue one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the 2 cameras in the front.
Yes.
The one. Yeah. Did you notice the upgrade in the visuals on that?
I did, first of all, a little bit, but then unfortunately I used the index, and then I went back to it, and it felt like, and this is crazy, and I know it sounds over the top, but it felt like a generational leap in headset. And I know that sounds over the top. It does sound over the top in my mind. But it was like that. It was night and day.
That's the difference between having a high resolution with an OLED display, which is what the Vive Pro has, or is it Super AMOLED? I think it might be Super AMOLED in the Vive Pro, and a high resolution with an LCD RGB stripe.
Yeah.
So that RGB stripe, a lot of going down the LCD RGB stripe route, because it gives you that sub-pixel definition there, which means it's much better for text. It's much better overall in headset for our resolution.
It was dual AMOLED on the Vive Pro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that arrangement isn't the best for screen door, cutting the screen door effect out. But this is all here and there because you're still going to need a powerful PC to push this out. They haven't really said much about the lenses in the HTC Cosmos, which is really important. Lenses are important. We can all see this from where you said about God rays and the sweet spot and all of this stuff like this. I mean, this is up for pre-order at the moment at what was it, like £700 or $700, and is €800.
Yeah.
But what is that like in terms of the lenses as well?
Yeah.
And the lens quality in a PSVR is actually amazing.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, the difference that lenses make to the view that you see from going from a PSVR to a Rift CV1. Rift CV1 has got more resolution in there and stuff like that. It doesn't have RGB stripe. You can see a load of other things. You've got the God ray effects in there. So the lenses in this can make a big difference as well. And I haven't seen much about the lenses, so I'd be interested to see what happens there. And then you got X is already out, and that's got a variety of refresh ranges.
I think a lot of people, I mean, obviously you had the Valve Index thing, and obviously people were interested in the headset. No one's really talking about the controllers on this. Now, one of the things I noticed about the controllers on this is that you've almost got shoulder-mounted trigger grips as well. So
it has a bumper button.
Yeah, so you've got your grip button still, but you've also, this trigger is split into two. So you've got R1, R2, for example.
On there.
Yeah, like that. That's another thing that I'd think about, because if a game is optimized properly for this game, your weapon selection and your whatever else could be done so much easier than in other games.
Got to have developers that are developing just for that.
Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it? Where it's getting so many different HMDs in one,
and so different control methods and hardware methods.
This really excited me. This one, out of the Quest obviously excited me because of the tech, but as a headset goes, I'm like, dude, I think this looks exceptionally cool, really cool.
Think it'd be good. I think it could be good, but I'm so frustrated with how HTC have handled the giving of information for this. Every single week or every other couple of weeks and every other month has been, we've got more information coming soon here. We've put it on a cake stand and made it turn around, and all of this absolute crap, instead of saying, here's what it does. Here's the spec. Here's the different thing. Here's some opinions from people that actually know what they're talking about and can say something about it. They've just come out with all of this stuff, and they're still not selling on what's a unique IP for this.
Well, didn't they do a video and the guy just kept talking about the fact that it's got joysticks? Because obviously they're trying to kill the wands, aren't they?
Yeah, they are killing the wands, because the big problem with anybody who's used a HTC Vive and you've used those trackpads, those trackpads are not great
So
to use.
I'm really grateful that I got to try them because they are absolutely terrible. It was like holding a very old crap TV remote, and
Yeah, yeah.
it was all. Do you know what it reminds me of?
The buttons on the side, the grab buttons on the side are awful,
Yeah,
and then the slip pad thing with your thumb just
everything
feels.
about it was really crap. And like when I was using the, it reminded me of the days when Jaguar come out, and you got that controller in your hands, and I remember thinking, "God, this is cool." And there was like, I don't know, 20 little buttons on the bottom, and I don't remember ever using them for anything apart from playing Alien vs Predator. It was kind of like when I got the Vive, I thought these guys obviously thought this was the future, and they got it really wrong. It's terrible.
So I've got a question. I wonder if these Cosmos controllers, if they will allow you to use them on the current HTC Vive.
No,
Inside out tracking, isn't it? That'd be the reason, wouldn't it? More so.
it's inside out tracking. They're inside out tracking, so you can't use these new ones with the current Vive or the Vive Pro, because you've got to remember what happens when you do that. That's why there's 6 cameras. Now, this is another thing. There's 6 cameras, or you can replace the faceplate and use lighthouses. You can use the Valve lighthouses, presumably Lighthouse 2 as well. But you're not going to be able to do that from the start. So if you are thinking about upgrading your Vive to a Cosmos, and you say, I want the outside in tracking, the lighthouse-based tracking, you're not going to be able to do that until sometime in 2020, the start of 2020 presumably, but when, who knows, because this is HTC we're talking about, and obviously their communication of this stuff is a pile of poo.
The other thing is, I mean, probably the biggest factor. So I think a lot of boxes have been ticked with this headset. In my mind, I'm gutted about the price because
Sticky point.
yeah, I mean, you can get. I'm looking at it now. You can get a Valve Index with the controllers for $689. So, and that's saying you've already got the lighthouses, yeah, because it does.
Yeah, if you get the lighthouses, you can get that.
Yeah, so, but if you've got nothing, the complete bundle is £919. So that's because you're buying lighthouses, and that's what I was trying to say earlier. Was that if this would have come in at the I don't know, the 450, 500, something like that, I think the whole conversation about this would be completely different because at the moment, everyone is saying, I'm going to wait for a review.
Review. Not pre-order this. I'm definitely not of the pre-order on this one at all, because there is so much that we still don't actually quite know about this headset.
But that's the thing. I mean, they're really relying on, and I wish I had the money, they're really relying on people they trust for their opinions.
Yeah.
Like, more than ever, I've seen, I'll wait until so-and-so shows me, or, what I mean? Like, and, it's one of those things where I'm like, oh, dude. But, yeah.
One of the things you're saying about this video with the thumbsticks, see, I don't know how they didn't miss this. If they'd actually done, we've got thumbsticks that when you're moving in any direction, if you push down on the button, it will click, because there is an obvious thing there that's going on with the Valve Index, where the Knuckles controllers, they have a bit of a fault. And you can have whether you've got the thumbstick where if you move it forwards and you push down, you'll feel a click. But if you're moving your thumbstick to the right and you push down, you won't feel a click. And then you could, if it was down the bottom or to the left, you never know whether it's going to click or not. They could have played that like a joke. Yeah.
Can I just bring up one point that GT was making? Obviously, don't really have a dog in this fight, but you were saying that the Cosmos is going to be £700, $700. And how much did you say the Valve Index was?
It's actually
you got to buy everything.
Oh, I forgot. It's 900. Let me get this exactly right.
919, is
909. Yeah. So say you had nothing.
Dollars or pounds?
It's pounds.
Okay.
It's
Now,
$1,000.
how much is this faceplate? Have they given it a
I
price?
don't think they have yet. I don't
I
think.
haven't they haven't even said when it's coming out exactly. They've just said it's coming out in the first quarter of 2020.
The thing is with this, and I get what you're saying, GT. It's ticking a lot of boxes. I don't know who they're aiming this at because they're not going for the Oculus Rift owner because that's £400.
Mhm.
They're not going for the Index owner because it's got a wider field of view. I understand about resolution, but we know what the lenses are like. It's got a wider field of view. It's got the knuckle controllers and everything like that. And then obviously you've got the absolute elitists who are going for like Pimax and was it Star VR? I think you called it, Salsa.
Star VR or the X-Tal, but
They're in the thousands. So there's only a very minutia of people getting out. I don't see who they're aiming this at because, all right, you've got the inside-out tracking and it's got vastly superior inside-out tracking. It's got higher visuals, but then you also have to have a look at the software that it's got. And it's like, it's £300 more than an Oculus Rift. That is a big ask.
The other thing is as well, though, that as you like, there's little things that nitpick at people as content creators. The Rift S, apparently the onboard mic is bad. I don't know what the one is like this. This has also got the external earphones, and it's saying, you know, it's got unprecedented presence in 3D spatial audio. So they've gone back to that over-ear earphone, which Rift S hasn't got, and you know, people wanted. So
it's still £300.
Yeah. I get that. Yeah.
But
Can I add something?
Well,
Yeah.
I just want to quickly finish one thing, Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're talking about the faceplate, and let's say that's £200. Suddenly you hit the same price as the Valve, and the Valve has already been out. It's all going to come down to what HTC Vive are expecting from this.
Mm-hmm.
It's never going to get Oculus Rift sales numbers, definitely, because the Oculus Rift is for a PC VR headset is the cheapest, simplest solution. I get they've gone with the band headset. I think that just goes to prove how superbly designed the PlayStation VR headset was. That now other developers or other manufacturers are actually licensing that patent. And well, I think they sold it to LG. That's a stupid thing from Sony to do. Get some money for that. But yeah, so I don't see who they're trying to target for this. I mean, obviously they've now made the decision to abandon the HTC Vive. There's going to be no more HTC Vives. Anything that's out there is going to be sold through, just like Oculus did with the Rift.
Oh, the Vive Pro is it has a thing where it's kind of aimed at gamer enthusiasts. It is actually truly not a consumer headset. It at its core, it was never aimed at consumers, which is really odd. The other side again is looking at markets. So HTC Vive in the West, they have not got the same hold in the West as they have in the Asian market. In the Asian market, they've got a different hold. You've also got, again, as you're saying, if you were to pre-order this, it comes with a Viveport Infinity subscription for a year.
Yeah.
Which does have some value, as I found out to my detriment, because I actually spent on Battlewake earlier this week and didn't realise it was
I've used it. Westworld was on there as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, Westworld is Westworld on there as well.
That's what someone told me. I'm asking you, to be honest, because I haven't checked it for a while.
I didn't see Westworld on there.
Right. Okay. Someone told me it was. So I don't know if that's right.
I thought Westworld was an Oculus thing.
Oh, I'm not sure. That's what I'm saying. I could be wrong.
But yeah, it's really hard to call on this. I think it's just I don't know where it sits too much. There's some things about this headset that if I knew the answers to on like the lens arrangement and stuff like that, where I could go, yeah, I could see where it might fit into the thing for sim racers or something else like that. But I haven't got a clue where it sits. Like you say, I don't know where it sits.
Yeah, it's because of the price. Like, I actually think this is ticking so many boxes. I'd really like to try this headset so much,
So
but it's
what
still
I
a lot.
wanted to ask is, I wanted to be certain: is this supposed to be a tethered headset, or is this supposed to be like their answer to the Oculus Quest?
No, it's tethered.
It's tethered, but
Tethered?
you can buy the adapter thing.
A wireless adapter.
Yeah, you can buy the present wireless adapter does work with this, but you also have to have a separate other adapter link in that as well, because this goes on DisplayPort, not HDMI. So like with the Index, this goes through, and the Rift S, this goes through a DisplayPort connection, not HDMI connection.
Okay, so this is essentially going to replace the Vive then.
This is essentially going to replace the Vive.
Okay.
Vive Pro, but the Vive.
So wow, so that kind of puts it right there in the mix of the other headsets. In terms of its price, boy, whew.
Yeah.
Price is a big kick in the backside.
Yeah.
No two ways about it. It's not the next thing in terms of Index style of stuff. I just don't know where it sits, and I'm questioning how good the tracking's going to be, because it's not IR based; it's light based on the controllers and the cameras. It does mean the pass through from the cameras, like you're saying, is color pass through and not the weird black and white pass through that we have on the Quest or the Rift S.
Mm-hmm.
But
Another question is what kind of games are we going to get from this? Because like, if you have an Oculus Rift S, whatever, and you get rid of it, you are going to be losing some of those Oculus exclusives, because they do make good games.
You go to Revive. So it's going to still work with OpenVR standards and the Steam platform and the obviously the HTC Viveport platform as well. But you know, if you're talking about Oculus side of things, you still have Revive. And the other upcoming standard platform that's going to make it easier for developers, which is behind the scenes of things, which is a face layer.
Just say JPJ said that Westworld is on Viveport, so you can check that out, dude. And as I said, I'm pretty sure that I saw it on there, and I was like, that's pretty cool. So I checked out Viveport because I wanted to check out the Game of Thrones experience. And I actually thought it was really good, the Viveport thing. I thought it was very good. And, yeah. See you later, Secret Soul. Take care of yourself, man. And, yeah, Dark said, basically, you can play any games on this, just like any other PC VR headset, bar PSVR games. So, as I said before, it's like someone else said, where are they? Dark says it's a mid to high-end headset. That's where it sits. Everyone says Valve is the Index is a high-end headset, yet it's actually 20 quid cheaper. You know what I mean? If you've already got the towers, that's the difference. If you've got the towers, it changes the game. So, like, me personally, I haven't got the towers, and I'm not going to be getting the towers. I'd be using this for the inside-out tracking. I believe the future is inside-out tracking. That convenience, and what Ham said back here, he said, like, oh, you know, I think the Cosmos would be good for sim racers, flyers that don't need outside in level tracking. To seed VR players who can stream, perhaps. So that's right. When I'm playing a game back here, sometimes I need to make sure everything's clear of the sensors and you know.
Yeah. I get that very much, because obviously I like my Sims, but I'm just not convinced over the information we've been given. I want to get either some hands-on time, stuff like that, because the price. There are other things that can compete in here. and I also do play a mix of other games. So if you want, sorry, go on, Lincoln.
Well, I was just going to quickly say that I don't think there's going to be any issues getting hold of stock when it launches, because I think so many people are just going to be a wait and see situation.
Yeah.
Because it is in such a quandary because of that price. If you went at 550, maybe even 600, you've got a slight chance. But even then, it's still thing. As I said, it's not as innovative as the Valve Index with its Knuckles controllers. I mean, they're innovative. They changed the game in terms of controls
and the field of view. Like I can vouch for that. That field of view makes a difference. It makes a difference.
I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt as far as the tracking goes, because I was definitely a person who was apprehensive about inside out tracking, because I still do believe outside in is still a little bit better than inside out, but I think we've come far enough with inside out that a lot of people like me would be willing to let those outside sensors go. I'm fine with it. The inside out tracking on both the Rift S and the Quest is adequate.
So I'm just going to say how me and Lincoln sort of got together was discussing the Quest. I think that's why he got me on his show in the first place, because he was like, is the hype real? Is inside out tracking actually any good? He was like, you was on the fence, dude, weren't you? Massively. Yeah. And that's how we met. So, sorry, Salsa.
No, actually, you know how we met? GG?
Go on. Oh, go
on. This is one thing I never got a chance to say about you, is that you're definitely a people person when it comes to the VR community. One time you were playing Firewall, and you basically invited all the viewers. Anybody that wants to come in and play, send me a friend request and come jump right in. And that's how I met you. I was like, what a cool guy. Because before I got into VR, I was dealing with some trolls, because I was kind of caught up a little bit in the console war, because I was primarily a PlayStation guy. So I had a lot of Xbox trolls coming into my station, into my chats. So I was really cautious about who I would meet.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, when you did that on Firewall, was just allowing people to come in there, I was like, wow, either this guy doesn't have any trolls, or he just, is just a very open person, very approachable. And I came in there and played Firewall with you. And then once you discovered I had a channel, then right there, that's where the rest was history.
Oh, nice, man. Yeah, sorry I forgot. I do forget things sometimes. So, but yeah, that's cool, man. I'm just really glad we met. And yeah, I love that everyone just jumps in together and stuff. I wish it was a little bit easier for people to just jump in from the channel into games. Currently, while you're bringing this up, thanks for actually bringing it up. On the Discord at the moment, Rakan is out there, and he is DJ is a moderator of community games. They're setting up something where basically you can at certain people for certain games. So you could say that I play Firewall, I only want to know when you're playing Firewall. So what you could do is at this certain tag, and only those people who want to play Firewall can get together. So that's the idea of the Discord, is we're going to try and push to get some multiplayer events. I'm going to be online doing stuff. I can't do every event because obviously I've still got the channel to run and get people in the Discord. That's kind of the thing we're trying to do here, is spread the word, get people together. Because I know a lot of people, and today I was talking to someone, I won't mention names, but they were saying they're very cautious about who they go online with and who they accept as friends, because they get abuse. And it could, and it ranges from all sorts, sex, race, whatever it is, belief. We're not about that. We're about just getting together and having fun. And it really upset me that I thought that possibly they even saw maybe the Discord as like, oh no, I'll give it time. I'm not 100%. And I thought, dude, like, I don't want that. I never assumed that anyone would think that I'm going to tread cautiously everywhere because of it. So, I think one thing we need to do is get together, prove that we are just positive and supportive, and we're not full of BS. We're all about having fun, showing VR, supporting VR, and all that. That's what I want. So Yeah, it done me earlier when I got told that. I was like, oh no, I hate the idea of that, because one of the things about virtual reality is really good. I feel like you make memories from meeting people in VR over playing a normal flat game in some ways. I've had great relationships, don't get me wrong, like with people and friends, but when I've met people in Rec Room and stuff, like I could come off that and be like, that really happened. It felt like it happened.
Oh yeah, there's definitely a lot on that. I do have to bring up something from the Discord as well, because if you don't jump in the Discord, sometimes you miss different bits of news, because there's so much happening with VR all the time. Like Ham, just earlier bringing up the thing about Dirt Rally and Dirt Rally 2 at the moment, which I do want to mention really quickly about the Steam version of Dirt Rally. You can get for free at
Yeah.
the moment. Today, now, because it stops tomorrow. So if you don't have Dirt Rally on Steam, head onto your Steam, look at Dirt Rally, get that in your account, because that's the full VR version in there. Done.
Yeah.
For free. Got to do that. Also, it's Dirt Rally 2, which is really going to annoy me because there's so many issues still going on with it, though there are some improvements that are coming along. Dirt Rally 2 is on sale at the moment. So it's going for $14.99 in Steam. Not the Oculus version.
No.
The Steam version.
So one of the things I tried to spread the love about that sale. People are saying, obviously, and you told me about this, there is an issue between running the Steam version on an Oculus device. That still isn't fixed, apparently, and it's still not running right.
No, not 100%.
And the other thing is, people are saying, I've already got Dirt. What makes this one so much better? Now, to me personally, I found this more realistic. I found everything a bit more detailed. What's your thing on this?
I do find it a bit more detailed, but then I've got issues running the Steam version, and then put it this way, on Steam I have performance issues, and I've got a killer machine. I have a UFO shoot me in space now machine.
Yeah.
And I have some with it.
Dude.
The Oculus version, graphically, for me, is so much better. It just blows it out of the water. It blows the Steam version out of the water for the visuals.
Yeah.
I have no sound. I can't hear the Go driver. I can't hear the calls. So that is just endlessly frustrating to me. Also, on the Steam version, you can get the DLC. And the reason, obviously, they've gone with this cut-down price is they're releasing another DLC pack, which would put more money on top. But if you can play it, which, of course, there is a refund policy on Steam, make sure you play it under the 2 hours. Check, by all means, go on there, check it out. If it works for you and your headset, quid in.
Yeah.
Doesn't, make sure that you're not in there for more than 2 hours, and get a refund.
Yeah.
Because that would make sense. But if you haven't got the original Dirt Rally, which is still an amazing experience in VR, make sure and pick that up for free while you can.
Nice. So just to finish off the Cosmos thing, just to let everyone know, I would still buy a Rift S at the moment. That is to me a certain money buy. Like, I'm not on the fence like that. If I had the money now, I'd get it.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, everything about it. I've used it. There is in my terms, and I think Lincoln said this, I think is a significant change in visuals between the original Rift and that. So
no question. And I would love for you to do some kind of video, some kind of stream, letting everybody know what you think of the Rift S when you get it, because I'm definitely curious to see what you might think of it.
Yeah, as I said, I used it at Gamescom. They had the Rift Pro, the Vive Pro, the Rift S, the Valve Index. That was it. That was all that was on display. And yeah, as I said, I mean, imagine this is another thing. If Valve Index had inside-out tracking, what would that do to the game? Like, how would because with that field of view, yeah, I would actually go. I don't think I'm going to get the Rift S. I'd save up because that field of view, guys, like it makes such a difference. Honest, like I'd never.
For me, it depends on what state you're talking to me at. Because if you're talking to me at the state where I still have my CV1, and you're telling me that the index is inside-out tracking, I would be apprehensive. I would say, no way, it's not proven. I can't drop $1,000 on some technology that's not proven. But if you talk to me now about the index having inside-out tracking, I would say go for it because I'm finally sold on it. On the inside-out tracking. After Oculus sent that miraculous update through those headsets, I'd say inside-out tracking is damn near just as much as reliable as external tracking.
But that's what I'm saying. If that's what I think the Cosmos is actually a real good contender. If that field of view, for example, was bigger at that price, that changes the game again. That's what I'm saying. It is almost like 2 steps away from being able to go on a bit of paper. We are the best. Do you know what I'm saying? And then you've pumped up the price. Like I do think it is expensive. I do. It's a bit too expensive. But then I find the Valve Index expensive. But then when I used it, I could see why it was expensive. Do you know what I'm saying? But I didn't even get on with the Knuckles that well. But then I haven't probably used the right software with the Knuckles to get the best out of them.
Well, that's obviously a point of contention because there's not much out there that really uses the Knuckles stuff yet. Just wanted to say as well to Buck, you don't have to use Revive to play Dirt Rally Steam's version. We're talking about the Steam version. You don't need to use Revive to play that.
All right, cool. Yeah, guys. So, looking.
There is a frustration with all the headsets except for PlayStation VR. We don't know what they've sold.
Yeah.
You can only base it on software, and I gotta be honest. I think Oculus Quest is catching up to Rift in all its formats, CV1 and the Rift S, because all you got to do is listen to the developers. They're saying that they're selling Oculus Quest games at a level that they ain't selling them on the Rift. And I in some ways, that's why I don't think Oculus Connect 6 is actually going to be the Oculus Quest conference. I think it's going to be Oculus Connect 7. I think Facebook and Oculus have been taken aback by the sales numbers that they're getting off the Oculus Quest. And I think you might actually see a much more concerted effort to develop first for the Quest and then bring to the Rift afterwards. I'm not sure if we'll ever get an actual Oculus Quest exclusive. And as I say, I think the Quest is the shining light for somebody else to get into, especially Nintendo. Like if Nintendo came out with an Oculus Quest equivalent, Jesus, Sony would have to look in the rearview mirror because the IPs that Nintendo could bring. Oh, you bring out a Zelda game, you bring out a Mario Kart game, you bring out a Mario platformer game. Sony would have to step up to a level that they aren't at the moment. They don't have to worry about PC VR because there is no way that PC VR in all its itinerations has hit 5 million units. No way.
Ooh.
Not a chance.
Yeah. Someone said earlier, I just had it in my head, it's gone again.
Sorry.
No, it's not you. No, I keep trying to think of what someone said earlier, and I keep bloody trying to bring it up, and then I keep forgetting it again. There was something someone said in the chat. It was Cornerstone. He said, "South, you keep growing your head keeps getting bigger and smaller again."
Am I doing?
That's it. Sorry. Legend of Zelda is in VR on Labo VR. You can play the whole game using Labo VR in VR.
No, it's not.
It is.
It's not.
It Is it or not?
Let's just have it. You can play it, but that's like saying that, I can run the 100 meters. I can do it. It's just not really a good idea for me to run 100 meters. So
It's not. To be fair, I tried it and it wasn't great because what you wanted to do was get the controllers off that bloody headset, hold them in your hand, and tie the bloody thing to your face. Then I'd be acceptable. I'd be like, yeah, this is actually all right. Until that point, because you can't take the controllers off. I don't think. When no, you can. You can slide the sides down. I can't remember how that worked with Zelda. I might just check that back out.
Can't you imagine actually playing Zelda in a first person and that bit where you jump off a cliff and you hold out the handkerchief as you float down?
Yeah.
But actually playing that in first person as a Zelda and doing that properly, that would just be, like I say, Nintendo have the IPs, but so do Sony. They're just not utilising them. But I give Sony a lot of credit. They're bringing us a lot of new IPs.
Yeah.
They're bringing us new, fresh experiences. I just think they could, let's put it this way, for every brand new, fresh experience that they bring us, they could bring us an older experience, a Resistance, a Killzone, a MotorStorm. They could bring us that as well. So,
I was always expecting the new Crash Bandicoot game that come out to get a VR patch, and I was expecting Crash Team Nitro to eventually do that as well, because can't they see the potential? Do you know what I mean? And it's weird. I don't have that thing of like, I'd love to play this in first person. When it comes to virtuality, I don't actually always think now that game would be better in first person. I just think it'd be better in VR. You know what I'm saying?
The thing is, if it was Sony that brought out Crash Team Racing, 100% that would have come to PlayStation VR. Unfortunately, it's Activision. We're screwed. That's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Me and Lincoln have discussed the possibility of doing a World War II Call of Duty game in virtual reality would bring a level of immersion and experience that no gamer would ever forget. Literally, all you got to do to start that game off is the Normandy landings.
Yeah.
And everyone that watched the Normandy landings, what was it, Call of Duty 2, I think, did the Normandy landings? And everyone was blown away by, oh my God, how realistic. Nah, that's got nothing on what they could do in VR.
That was amazing. I remember that. That was absolutely fantastic. And I think I went out and bought some surround sound to experience it for the first time as well on the PlayStation. It was really good.
And that's why we have to do our part to bring us one step closer to something like that.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Daniel, no worries, man. Take care. Thank you.
Like I say, the future is extremely bright for VR. It's not the flash in the pan that we kept getting told it was going to be. People will forget about it. No, it's growing. More people are experiencing it. Sony are going the right way. But PSVR 2 is so important that they get that right.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
If it's just a slight iteration above PlayStation VR, all the good work that they've done, they're going to undo very quickly.
It would almost be a setback, because I'm hoping that the PlayStation VR, or rather the PS5 itself, has enough power to put it in the general ballpark of at least a mid-range PC. When these developers develop a game, they won't have to put it on PC first and then go through their motions to try to whittle it down for the current PSVR. I'm hoping it's a situation that when the PS5 comes out next generation, when they develop a game, they can put it on all formats at once. And that could be a big key for AAA developers, because I think that's one of the reasons why more AAA developers are not involved in VR right now, because it's not going to sell very well on PC. And I think the limitations of the PS4, that is going to kind of compromise the development of a game. So next generation, I think, like, take EA, for instance, in a Madden that we talked about. That's more likely to happen if they can develop it across all formats at once and don't have to strip out levels and strip out this mode and strip out that mode because of the limitations of the PlayStation.
Yeah, I think what they've done already with PS4, I think PS5 will just turn it up too many notches. It's going to be absolutely amazing. I'm just, once again, I think more than any other headset, people are going to be watching what sort of headset we're going to get. More than any other headset and the importance of it, I think the Rift S, pretty much a version of the Rift S, is the way to go, a safe way to go with a safe price. So I'm hoping that's what happens. I think they're too. I think they've got it right. I think PlayStation got it right. It's only the Move controllers I've ever had a problem with, especially if you ever try an Oculus Quest or a touch controller, you suddenly think this is a game changer. Like, this is, you don't know what you're missing till you've tried it. That's what is true. And there's when you get them controllers for the first time and you're holding them, dude, and like you realise that it knows where your fingers are and stuff. It's like, Christ, this is fantastic. It's,
No. Oh no, I mean, yeah, PS5. We can go back onto this and be here for a very, very long time. I do see a lot of good things that will come from PS5. I think this generation of PSVR headset, I think PS5 will do great service for it and will allow a lot of games that we haven't seen because of parity to PS4 and PS4 Pro having to have that parity in the game causes PS5. I think we're going to start to see a load of the games that people want.
yeah,
And I will have enough power to power the current generation to surprising levels that people don't realize the headset is capable of, but is. And games like Wipeout VR is certainly proof in the pudding of what a PSVR is capable of
yeah,
at current format. And going along to what comes with PSVR 2, who knows? We're going to have to wait a few years to see that. I think, a moment to see that. But it's interesting times VR. Interesting times for VR.
Yeah, Paradise dropped a comment, which is quite a big subject, really. When is OC6? Is it going to be? I think it's before our next show, isn't it? So by the time we get,
It's end of September.
oh, is it? And that's cool.
I want to say September 24th, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I
September
can't remember.
24th, 25th. But on top of that, you've also got 2 events supposedly by Sony. One that's going to be looking at The Last of Us Part 2. Yay!
Oh, mate.
And supposedly there is another presser, so it's most probably I can't remember what they call their version of Nintendo Direct, but there's most probably another one because obviously we still need to find out about Gollum and, what's the date for Iron Man VR? What's the date for Sniper Elite VR?
Yeah,
I think that one will actually have a lot of VR in it, and it will have a lot of standard games in it. So, like I say, there's so much to look forward to VR in general, and games. Like I say, Aspire 1 comes out that week as well. Those days. So,
yeah, crazy.
It's a crazy thing. There is one topic I do want to bring up. It's not VR related, but there was an abomination, a terrible act that happened 30 years ago that is going to be corrected, well, at least for 3 months, in that marathons were renamed Snicker bars. It was a horrible thing that happened.
Oh, we getting the marathon bar back.
And they are bringing back marathon bars. They're not going to be called Snickers bars anymore. It is terrible that in 1990 I couldn't go out to a shop and buy a marathon bar. I had to buy a Snickers bar. It is terrible. It is marathon. It's always been marathon. And I'm going to make my way to Morrison soon and buy a pack of marathon bars.
It's going, what the hell? What?
I didn't know what he was going to say.
That same intertwined pattern, because if I remember when I was a kid, the marathon bar was strictly chocolate and caramel, and it had an intertwined pattern
No.
Because my father used to buy that for me when I was a kid. Now he was ready to kill us one day because we smeared chocolate all over the seats of his brand new Lincoln.
Oh, I don't blame him.
But it's the same bar. It's the same chocolate bar. It's just it was called the Marathon Bar. In fact, my best friend, one of the things he always wanted to do as a kid was to go over to America to buy a Snickers bar to bring back to confuse people.
Yeah.
Which he never got to do because they renamed it Snickers
I mean,
before he had a chance to go to America.
This is a big deal because like the Whisper came back 5-6 years ago or something, and that was a massive deal. Like everyone went crazy. Everywhere I looked, people are eating Whispers. Lincoln, do you know what a Whisper is? Have you got Whispers in your country?
No, I'm not sure. I never even took.
Or Cadbury, actually, isn't it? It'd be Cadbury. So,
It's Cadbury, so it's
not.
Mate.
I'm not. Given my situation right now, I'm definitely not terribly familiar.
Oh yeah,
with
sorry.
A lot of candy out there right now because I don't even want to think about it right now.
I forgot about that. Eat some beef jerky. Paradise Decay said.
We don't have much beef jerky here. That's something we need.
I love beef jerky.
We need better flavours for beef jerky in the UK.
We've got a shop in our town run by a South African family, and they do all their own jerky stuff, and it is absolutely fantastic. I go in there, dude, and I'll just drop a tenner, and I'm walking around town just eating loads of meat till my jaw hurts. Paradise Decay, once again, this is the 4th time I've tried to say this. There is a rumour that Respawn are working on that World War II game with those landings, which I think we'll find more about what Respawn are planning for Oculus at OC6. So, and Respawn, like everyone's been going on about Titanfall, but apparently it is not Titanfall. People are going, no, it's definitely not Titanfall, which I would have gone mental over. But I'm still very excited for what they do because I know it's going to be good. So, yeah.
And thanks to Shats for the $5 as well.
Thank you very much, Shats. I did put it in the chat. I do apologise. You got all the guys chatting and stuff, but thank you ever so much for the donation. Cheers. I haven't got the chat up like these guys. I've got it over because I'm trying to do all this stuff on here. There's a lot going on the screen. So, Lincoln looks like a protein bar kind of guy. Lincoln, how do you feel about that comment? Oh, there you go. You love protein bars.
Yeah, I mean, especially when I was a gym rat working out like 6 days a week, I would probably go through 3 to 6 protein bars a day.
A day?
Well, because it was easy to eat them on the go versus, having to throw ice cubes and whey protein in a blender and try to make a shake out of it.
Fair enough. Fair enough, man. There you go. We've ended on some weird notes. Marathons, Respawn, and protein bars. So, once again, thank you ever so much for everyone. I've actually got, in case I forget stuff, I want to thank all the guys on the show. Please remember, if you're looking for VR content, subscribe to these 3 guys here. I'm going to put their links in the description. Feel free to add their channels in the chat if you want to. Thank you to the patrons, thank you for the members, thank you to the viewers, thank you for your likes, thank you for your comments, thank you for the shares, thank you for your donations. And yeah, we'll be back next week. As always on a Sunday at some random time, so just be sure to click that bell, set it to all, and you won't miss the show.
Definitely.
Happy, guys?
Yeah.
Yay.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Deuces.
Thank you for watching, guys.
Yeah. No, cheers for being here, guys.
Buy your marathons. Buy your marathons, guys.
Mate, that is such a good way of getting everyone buying Snicker marathons again, isn't it? Everyone's going to go. Do you wish the king size one come back though? Like, I don't like the duos. I just think, I wish they'd just bring back the king. No, I want to keep eating a whole bar. I don't want to get halfway through and go, I've got to start again. I want to.
But I don't know, the duo is longer than the king size would be, because it's like not quite king size, and
it just doesn't feel the same, dude. It just doesn't feel the same. Do you know what I mean?
Doesn't that's what I
And-
say.
Man, when I'm eating a chocolate bar, keep your fingers away from my mouth. Trust me.
I bet you.
I'll take it all. I don't care.
I bet-
Chocolate bar and your fingers.
I bet you bite your own fingers, don't you?
I do.
I say my favorite candy bar of all time is Munch Bar.
I don't think I know that one.
It's loaded with peanuts, and it's kind of a hard candy bar. It's loaded with peanuts. Got a little bit of a caramel taste to it.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have it over there. And I'm jealous. One of my cousins just returned from the United Kingdom, and I'm so jealous of her.
Forget that we are still live on an open mic here.
That's fine. That's fine. Like, dude, what about the Baby Ruth bar?
That was one of my favorites for a while, as well as a Zagnut. Oh Henry, that was another one of my favorites. The Reese's Nutrageous, that was another good one. That was like had caramel peanuts and peanut butter in it.
Right, hold on. Right, Salsa, say caramel, or
Caramel.
Lincoln, you say it.
Caramel.
You
So,
said caramel or something earlier.
yeah, because that's one of those tomatoes things.
Oh, right.
I don't know. Always, some people call it caramel, some people call it caramel. So I guess whatever's your preference.
I want to get it right. It is spelt caramel, but I've heard people say caramel, and I'm like, I can't go with the caramel thing.
It's a different thing to the aluminium,
Aluminum. Yeah.
When you use the word caramel, it sounds like it makes it sounds like they're trying to make it sound premium. Like it's some kind of box of Valentine's Day candy or something.
Yeah.
That really expensive stuff that you spend $50 on a heart-shaped box of candy.
Yeah.
That's caramel, rich chocolate and caramel.
What? That's just the word. It's caramel. It's not caramel.
It's I've heard, honestly, I'm sure I've seen a program, and that's how people say that. Subsidiants. Ham said say subsidiants. Someone else say subsidiants.
Subsidiants?
I'm not sure about that, Ham. I don't know where
Well, it looks like it says subsidence. That's what the word looks like.
Oh, subsidence, yeah. Subsidiants.
Paradise the Case says the last time he was in Florida, he had to hunt down and try a Twinkie. My God, the Twinkie was probably be like the McDonald's of candy. It's everywhere.
Yeah, we got them over here now.
At one point, they never used. I didn't know what a Twinkie was until grew up hearing like American shows saying about Twinkies. It was right there in the Goonies or whatever about Twinkies, and we're like, what the hell does a Twinkie look like?
That's where I got Baby Ruth from. The Goonies. Yeah.
I never saw what a Twinkie was until Zombieland.
Yes.
Obviously, they went out of things. That's what it's just like when he actually brings up the Twinkies. I was like, oh, that's what a Twinkie is. And then I remember walking into B&M, and they literally had a box of Twinkies, and I was just like, you know what? I never had one of those before. I'm gonna take it.
Yeah.
When I was a kid,
pure sugar.
When I was a kid, Twinkies were so popular that at school, I'd probably say 3 out of every 5 kids who brought a lunch to school had Twinkies in their lunch.
That's good.
we have them, and it's much more recent years where you've got Twinkies, but there's a load of things like though they're mentioned so much in like American pop culture and films and things like that, there isn't an actual Twinkie on the screen in most.
That's the thing.
Things. So most people in the UK, myself included, until a couple of years ago, I didn't actually know what a Twinkie actually looked like.
For shame, sir. For shame. But he is right. He's absolutely right. Me and Nat are the same. It was Zombieland where they find that smashed up food truck and they go in there. But isn't there one in Wally? Does the bloody little cockroach live inside one or eat his way inside out of a Twinkie? Is that what he eats? And when they're in the truck?
I might not notice that it was a Twinkie or anything. Like I say, for me, even though like what Salsa says, they mention Twinkie in like Ghostbusters and Goonies, They never actually showed a Twinkie.
Oh.
I never understood what the hell it was. I just assumed it was candy or something.
Yeah.
And then, like I say, I was watching Zombieland, and he was, his Woody Harrelson's character is on a hunt to find the last Twinkie ever, and all he keeps finding is like Hostess bars, and I didn't even know what Hostess bars were. So
Nah, man, I haven't got a clue.
So even though the Twinkies were mush because they've been shot with a shotgun, it was like, okay, now I kind of get what a Twinkie actually is. So.
Yeah.
Hostess makes a lot of products. Twinkies, King Dongs, apple and cherry pies. They made a lot of products back in the days.
Yeah. Yeah. Someone just says, and I've lost the comment now, that there is.
Still doesn't know what a Twinkie is.
You need to find out, dude. I might try and get one on the channel, and we can just have a look at it, and we'll eat it together. I might do some ASMR or whatever it's called.
If you'd have come to me 4 hours ago, I had 3 left. I ain't got them left now.
We could have listened to Nat slowly chew one. If anyone's into that.
Basically, a Twinkie to me is pound cake with cream filling.
We don't know what pound cake is.
No, sorry, mate. No pound cake. So I think it was Dark. He said that caramel is hard, caramel is soft. That's what he said in the chat. Can anyone confirm this? Because I didn't know there was a difference.
It's caramel. Leave it alone.
Is he winding me up? He probably
You might be right, because some of the candy bars that some of the commercials that I've seen where they call it caramel, it does have that soft caramel of
there it is.
And I do prefer it a little bit harder.
Caramel. So yeah, cool. Right, we really have got to call this quits. So
Okay.
I'm just going to thank you all again for being here. Thank you everyone on the show. Remember to subscribe to these guys. Thank you for hitting that like button. Thank you for sharing the stream. And we'll all see you in the week. And if not, we'll see you on Sunday coming. Take care, guys. Thank you very much.
Deuces.